And we are live here with episode 14 of the Crystal Crusaders and Storm King's Thunder. I am joined by all of my lovely players this week. Oh my god, it is
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
a
whoop, whoop.
freaking miracle. They are all here and we are ready to play. Before we get started and get into the game, we're just going to go through a quick recap of what happened last time, and delivering it this week shall be Mike. So, Mike, whenever you're ready, go ahead and tell us what happened last time on Storm King's Thunder.
So last time, after being defeated by the bandits/pirates, we were led through a series of tunnels, quite long tunnels, to the point where we eventually don't know where we are or where we've been taken. Eventually we get to, I think there's some kind of beach. Am I misremembering that?
We was taken over by pirates on boats until
Yeah.
they dropped us on beach, and then caves and bad.
And we were held in some caves. We were shackled, but not locked up anywhere. And after a while, a cloaked figure showed up, and it was a person that some of the party recognized as a Carkessel. And he had some sort of a green crystal attached to him, I think, somewhere. And a little banter happened where he thanked us for helping him achieve what he has now achieved, which we apparently helped him with unbeknownst. And he then proceeded to resurrect Nefarious' corpse right in front of us to join his rank of lieutenants. After which,
I forgot about that bit.
After which he left us to our fate, being guarded by a giant undead-ish troll giant creature and some zombies. As well as this, the party was locked up with a random half-orc. And with this half-orc, we took our kill the orc. We found the perfect opportunity to break out, which we did, and fought these zombies and giants for the remainder of the episode, I believe. After which we defeated them, we introduced ourselves to the orc, whom I cannot remember the name of. I don't think. Did we introduce ourselves? Or
To me? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I don't think we.
No.
I don't
We
think,
didn't have the
there was
time.
no time. It was
Okay.
just like
So the
immediate-
episode, I believe,
immediate
ended
battle.
before that.
Yeah, so basically we left off last time. You guys have just slain your would-be like guards, and now we begin in this situation where you guys are on this sort of like rocky beach cove on the shore of this massive dark ocean underneath the ground in like some sort of like huge cavern. And so you guys are in like this cove, the walls of which are embedded with these like slightly dimly glowing black crystals. You can see there is a cave set into the back of this cove where Akar Kessel like left through. But other than that, the only like other way out is out into the ocean. And yeah, you guys are all like basically the like adrenaline of battle is like calming down, and now you're like taking more stock of your situation. I assume somebody at this point goes and like finally lets Lucas free, seeing as
Oh yes, he has not freed himself.
Oh.
No, we put him in his
Have
bag.
you put him in his bag. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he even suffocating if you do that?
After a few
Yeah, it's
minutes.
the next amount of minutes.
Only a little bit of suffocation is fine,
Just-
right?
Just a
Yeah.
bit.
Just a little small strangle. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody has died of being choked a little.
Nobody at all.
It's nice to know about your kink, Martin.
It happens. What? No.
What? Yeah, so anyways, now that you guys are all free and you can sort of take stock of the situation around you, yeah, it's basically as I described. You see this big open kind of like beach. There's a few like rock formations jutting out of it. You can see the waters of the Dark Sea kind of pushing up against the shore here, and you have your stuff, minus any of the black ice that you had with you. That's all been taken, but you have the rest of your stuff, and there are like a number of now empty wooden crates kind of like scattered around, and you can see the like drag marks where like some of the crates were like dragged across the beach by Akar Kessel's like undead minions, the crates that he took with him, and yeah, you sort of like free Lucas now after the battle. He seemed a little bit out of it, so you were like, why bother freeing him? He's not really gonna help at all. So he was just kind of sitting there the whole time watching. But now you go and free him, and you also free Briork, who was taken with you, and he just sort of like grunts as you cut the chains, rubbing his wrists and looking around. And then I guess he just sort of like looks around and he's like, well, what now? A little bit inconvenient.
Since I don't know the people, I'm just sitting. I'm sitting down because I'm already pretty wounded. So I'm just leaning on Max, just resting.
Yeah. I'll look over at the half orc, and we'll walk over to him and like give the old like hail wave.
The old hail wave.
The highway.
The hail
I'm just
wave.
I'm just like nodding back.
Hail, yeah. It's just like it says the name's Alquill Redmoon. Who might you be?
Greknor.
It says like,
Just spitting out blood meanwhile.
right. Hang on a moment, I say, and like lean, like I walk over and like lean over to like reach my arm towards you, slowly. And I will just use 5 of these to give you, to at least close your wounds, if nothing else.
Yeah. It helps.
Mm.
Everything helps at this point.
Everything helps at this point, yeah. It's just like, how did you end up getting caught by these people?
Brad, how did I end up being caught by these people?
So I think that's kind of I guess what were you doing beforehand? Before we get into
Stealing
like,
a bag.
what you got caught for? What is exactly that Greknar does essentially?
Basically, I would picture him more like a guy that actually just went around beating up bandits, really.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of like went
Just
around like beating up
aimlessly
bandits
walking
for...
around, just beating up bad shit.
Yeah, and occasionally people would like give you money for it, and you're just like, "What? I just wanted to beat people up."
Yeah, like a mercenary, basically. Kind of like Deadpool, really.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I think you were probably doing that. God, who goes around and beating up bandits? No, yeah. So you were probably like going around, maybe somewhere around like the Luskin area. You had like heard of basically some bandits nearby, and you were going to beat them up. However, it turns out after you finished beating them up that they had a little bit more friends than perhaps you had expected, and you got into a bit of trouble with the pirates of ship Luskin and or ship Rethnor, and they
Bit over more than I could chew.
bit off a bit more than you could chew, and they kind of like beat you unconscious, and then like basically just threw you in the brig of their ship down in the Underdark till they could figure out what the fuck to do with you.
I go like, I would. Some people gave me some money to beat up some pirates, and there were more of them than I first anticipated, and here I am.
People give you money for that?
If you're good at it.
Well, it doesn't seem like you were.
Well, when you fight at least 15 people alone, it kind of gets bad after a while.
It's kind of like a bad decision on your part.
Don't I know it?
Of course you would. The name's Nibby, by the way.
Greknar.
I might reach up to shake his hand.
I'm sitting, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I say like we were chasing some stolen goods taken by the pirates. I got a little bit in over our heads, and well, here we are.
Understandable. Why would you chase something? Was it that valuable? Ending up in a bunch of these people?
Yes.
I glance over at Lucas.
Seeing him have been tied up the whole fight, and he's saying yes. I'm like, okay. He's the one that pays you to get the things, or?
No,
Suck
he's
my sword.
he's one of our friends. He was just knocked out earlier.
I see.
Yes. Well, yes. For him, the continent in the bag was very valuable. For the rest of us, there was a specific pair of items that the pirates shouldn't have, that they now have.
Oh, what's that?
Black guys.
I'm just looking at you like, what?
It is a material. It looks like ice, just black. But it's
That was kind of in the name,
but it's hard as steel, and even tougher to melt. I say.
huh.
And it has it was created by some mad wizard several hundred years ago, and has corrupting properties. If you carry it for too long, it won't be good for you.
Uh-huh. That makes no sense to me, but sure.
Yeah. Fair enough. So,
Yeah,
You know what? Now that you say it, that doesn't make sense.
I look around, and I was just like,
all
so any
this,
idea where the hell we are?
I said, all this talk about the black ice is great and all, except, in case you haven't noticed, we're a bit lost in the Underdark.
I go like, I know
We
that.
under what?
I
said, the Underdark. What? Did you grow up in a cave or something?
No, he
I
grew
guess-
up in the north.
I guess not,
Look
seeing as
in
you
the
would
wild.
know what the Underdark was if you grew up in a cave. He says, it's a, well, basically think of it as one gigantic cavern underneath, the surface world. A lot of bad shit goes down here.
Such a thing.
Can you get any further down?
Says, yeah, if you want to run into mind flayers and become their slave.
Mine what now?
No.
What the hell's a mind?
Zach.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Zach.
Oh, I don't know.
Are you
I
sleeping?
could hear him.
I can hear you now.
Me too.
I didn't change
Me
nothing.
too.
It's just no one responded to anything I said like for the past 5 minutes.
Weird.
I
I
talked to
didn't
everyone
hear
when
you.
you talk to me.
I didn't hear you until the hello.
No, me neither.
I could hear you.
Just gonna crap.
Shut up, James.
I
I'm
could.
Batman.
You're
Okay,
lying.
let's keep
anyways.
moving. You were saying, Zach?
Oh, I mean, no, times have passed now.
Ah,
Well, you guys were good at listening like me.
Yeah, so,
Oh, yeah.
Briark looks around and he says, I've, dealt a lot in, moving through the Underdark, but never so far from home. None of this looks familiar to me. Kind of says, I'm afraid I'm a bit as much lost as you guys are down here, but, whatever we do, I recommend not going off in some random direction. We'll just get more lost.
just like, right. Well, well, Arnskull, Master Arnskull, like, this is your territory, so, or your area of expertise, so, I'll trust you to lead the way.
He's not very talkative though.
I look up at Alquill and go like, "You mind if I follow you guys? 'Cause I'm kind of lost as well right now. I don't know.
Not
You
at
know,
all.
At least until we get the fuck out of here, we'd rather stick together."
I agree.
Safety in numbers and all.
Welcome to the organization.
Oh yeah, the squeal little girl who tried to dodge when I got her loose. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, so Briar kind of like nods and starts like scratching his beard, and he says, well, we could try to make a raft out of these crates and sail the sea, but well, I think that's a recipe for winding up drowning out there somewhere. He says, no,
Yeah, how
it's
good are you
probably.
at sailing?
He says, ha! I've lived underground my whole life.
Yep. I'm,
I
not too-
am not.
If I can use the same skill as beating shit people with his axe and sailing, I would have gone. But
No, it's more difficult than that, so, what's the alternative?
And he says, well, seeing as there's only one cavern entrance in this cove, unless we want to try to skirt around the outside and see if there's another way through, probably our best bet is just to follow the caverns and hope to God it leads somewhere to the surface.
Oh,
What are
great.
the odds that it leads somewhere that's going to get us killed?
This is the Underdark, sweetie. Pretty good.
after what I've heard about this place, I mean, anything wants to kill you.
What were these mind flayers you were talking about?
He says, oh, real nasty bunch. You don't want to know. Let's just not go any further down.
With the name Mind Flayer, I have a feeling it's not going to be good for your brain.
And he says,
All
right,
right.
well, stick
we've
close.
got
He says, stick close, and if you feel the ground start to rumble, well, best of luck to you.
Why? Why?
Just keeps.
Yeah, and he starts to lead his
I
way.
just give Dibby the shrug before walking after him, after Briar.
He starts to lead his way down the basically one open kind of like cave where Akar Castle had left, a little while ago. And you are following down through this cave, and you notice it begins to, after a short time, it begins to kind of tighten to the point where you're kind of having to walk either like single file or side by side at best. And the ceiling is getting like pretty low in this. It's a natural cave formation. It doesn't look like it's carved or anything like that. And it's like twisting and winding, so it goes down for a while, and you're walking through, and then suddenly it'll like start going up slightly, and very quickly it becomes for those of you not used to traveling underground, it becomes quite disorienting as you're kind of clambering up ledges and doubling back on yourselves, it seems, just kind of twisting and winding around.
Are there any sources of light, or do we have to make our own?
No, there's no sources of light at all that, well, at least like no sources of light that are like useful. Like there are occasionally you see like little patches of fungus or something that are like very dimly glowing, but it's sort of that kind of glow where you can see it in the darkness, but it doesn't actually like illuminate anything around it.
All right. I'm going to strike a torch.
Okay.
I have the light cantrip.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to strike a torch still because we need more than one source of light.
Fine. As we're like walking, Alexei's like, I can't lose my brain, Alquill. That's like where everything is. You know that brain versus brawn thing? I'm the brain part of that equation.
And it's just like, what now? And it's just like,
I said, you've got an awful high opinion of yourself, girl, but keep it down.
yeah, this is no time to panic.
Specifically said we weren't going to them, so.
All right, so as you guys are traveling through this cavern, quite a while passes just going down this single sort of tightly packed cavern. There's a couple of points where the cavern narrows so much that you have to like take off your backpacks and like crawl on your stomach through like a seemingly like endless path. It just feels like forever as you're like crawling on your stomach through these gaps.
Even me.
Well, yeah, you're a little bit shorter, but you still have to kind of like kneel down and squat in these gaps.
Oh man, squat walking is the
Yeah.
fucking worst.
It's pretty bad, yeah. And eventually, it sort of like opens up a little bit, and you could see that up ahead there is what looks like a split in the cave. You could see that there is one side of the cave seems to branch off and sort of descend downwards a little bit before kind of fading into the darkness and out of sight, and then the other branch just kind of seems to like head straight off at a different angle. And Briork stops and kind of like looks, and he just goes, "Well, shit."
I look at him going like, what?
And he says, "Well, there's a split in the cave." Says, and without any sort of like charts or anything, I don't know which way is the right way to go.
It's a 50-50 chance, like better odds than a lot of odds I've played with in my life.
And he said, well, rather than flip a coin, why don't we look around for a bit, see if we can find any clues as to which way is the right way to go.
Can I look on the ground and see if any of the pathways have been traversed more than the other?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a survival check if you would like.
I can do that as well. What's your bonus?
No, this is going to be
Plus
one person is going to be making this check, so whoever wants to make it.
40. No, I rolled 18.
Okay.
Well, I was going to give him advantage. But...
Yeah, that's fine. You can give advantage, but we're gonna do like one person is making the check at a time.
22.
Okay.
I have
22.
plus 8.
I have plus 4.
I plus 5.
No, well, I have 22 now. It's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess in future, just so you know, I'm only gonna let one person make any of these skill checks. So discuss amongst yourselves first before clicking the button and rolling.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. But then
Yeah,
click.
I was scrolling now and just putting my mouse on it, and I managed to click it. I was like, okay.
All right,
Like
so
you said.
Greknar, you begin to like look around, and with Nibelung's help, you take a moment to observe the ground, and you notice like it's hard, like it's very faint, but towards the one passageway that actually seems to descend down, there is signs of like just slight disturbances of in the dust that kind of covers the ground. It doesn't seem like it's been traveled recently, but it seems like it's been traveled, whereas the other passageway kind of seems empty, and does not show any signs of like recent travel or otherwise.
I point towards the road more traveled, and I go like, this one seems to have been more traversed than the other ones.
Does that mean that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, if like the thing is, if it's humanoids, they usually want to get out of here. So I think the easiest is to
But
follow.
it could be Akar Castle and his crew.
Again,
All the way down here.
they're gonna go a way that leads to something.
True. Let's follow them.
Briork, what in your experience lives in the Underdark, other than these mind things?
He said, "Well, there's a lot of different things. Drow."
Bad things?
Says, "Well, yeah." They say, there's the Drow, nasty, dark-skinned elves that hate everybody but them. Dwergar, like dwarves, but stupider and crazy.
Are you saying dwarves are dumb?
And he says, well, a lot of the dwarves I know. I says, don't know if you've noticed, but, a race that likes to keep to themselves and not trade with outsiders in these times, kind of have to be a little bit. He kind of just like makes a gesture that you don't exactly understand, and he says, "Then there's the well, those are the main two that I've dealt with, but there's all sorts of things." He says, "I could sit here all day listing them off, but kind of be a waste of time. If you found a path, let's get moving."
All right. Let's go.
I go
Let's
like,
go.
whenever we find a clearing, can we take a rest? I just need to catch my breath after the fight earlier.
Says, "Right,
Are you hurt?
we'll look for a good place to stop then."
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're exhausted, right?
Ah,
Or
right.
yeah, that too. But it's more like, yeah, getting some health back, just resting really.
A short rest, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he begins heading down this path, which descends downwards a bit further, and you're kind of descending down, and it begins like opening up a ways, and you're actually rather than just like a flat passageway, it's almost like you're kind of descending down a series of ledges. Following after this trail that you've seen, there are times where you basically have to like stop and actually kind of like scale a rock wall. I think I clicked the long rest button for him before, so he should be good. And eventually you get to like the bottom of this descent, and you can see you're now in kind of like a big open cavern. You can see that there are a number of kind of like rock formations here, and you can hear the dripping of water as sort of like you look up and you can see stalactites sort of like slowly dripping water onto the ground, and it's like pooling into like little puddles in the area. And looking around though, it seems like for the time being things are relatively safe. And Bruyark sort of like looks around and says, "Well, in the Underdark, this is probably as good a spot as we're going to get. Might as well stop and rest here for a bit."
All right. I'll keep an eye out.
I take out the bedroll and I use it as a pillow and I just lie down for a bit.
All right, so you guys begin to take a short rest. Can everybody give me a perception check?
I'll take another disadvantage then because I'm just lying down, not really paying attention.
You're exhausted as well, so you have disadvantage
I
anyways.
suck at rolling.
I have my eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's still here. Let's see.
I said, well, I don't know why you GM rolled, but
I
luckily,
didn't mean to.
Lucas, as you're sort of like keeping an eye out on things, you don't notice any signs of like immediate danger or anything like that. But there are a couple of times where you see some sort of like small creatures like skittering between stalactites, kind of at the edge of your torchlight. They seem to be staying away from like the light of the torches and all that kind of stuff.
So
Sort of
it's up in the
darkness.
stalagmites?
No, stalagmites. They're on the ground.
Oh. Well, I'll look over, call out to Broyork and ask him, like, hey, are there any animals we should be afraid of down here?
He says, quite a few, but he says, why? What do you see something? And he kind of like walks over.
Can't see what it is, but there's something skittering around over there in the stalagmites.
Yeah, so he sort of like puts a hand over his brow and kind of like furrows his eyes a bit and looks. And again, you see sort of like the shadows kind of swimming across the darkness. And he says, he says, too small to matter, I think. Probably just some cave mites or something. So as long as we don't bother them, they won't bother us.
If you say so.
He just sort of like nods and says, sometimes it's better to just take a live and let live approach to these things. But other than that, nothing really untoward happens during the hour. You're just sort of sitting there resting in this like damp, echoey cave. as you can hear the occasional like dripping of water. Maybe for some of you, the like utter silence with the like dripping of water is kind of beginning to like grate on you a little bit, but otherwise nothing nothing out of the ordinary occurs, and you finish your short rest.
I spend the whole time categorizing everything that was in my bag. I'm like pulling it all out, counting it, every last coin, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you find everything except those black ice statues that were in there.
You'll see a very large pile of coins come out of the bag.
You're missing a single nylon thread.
No, not my nylon thread.
All right, so yeah, and anybody who's damaged can go ahead and spend hit dice if they want. It's probably a good idea.
Probably.
It's plus your con again, right?
Yeah.
4, 8, 12.
9 plus 4 is 33. I'm fine with this.
This is fine.
Damn it, my health wind-up doll's back. Fuck. Alexa, you want another doll?
There's dolls? Give me a doll.
I give you a doll, and you notice it's surprisingly similar to the last doll I gave you.
What are these dolls that you're giving me?
They're the ones that are cursed that just always wind up back in my possession by the end of the day.
Oh,
Ah,
shit. So Alexi, so you'll give Alexi a doll and she'll be like, "Oh, thanks, Lucas. Did I drop it?"
Guess you did.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
it's like
buddy.
it's a doll.
She'll
It
give you a
looks
hug.
it looks like a rather like flamboyant half elven bard of some sort. And just seems to be like constantly muttering in some sort of strange tongue you don't understand.
Oh my god, it's Varys doll.
Perfectly normal.
Nothing to worry about there.
I want that doll now.
Well, too bad.
I didn't say it in character.
Anyway, so you guys all finish your short rest. Has everybody spent all the hit dice they want to spend and done all that?
I'm at full HP.
Well, yeah, of
Yes.
course you are, because you didn't participate in the last battle.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
I don't
I'm not gonna live to get this.
I could roll one more to get full health, but is that worth it, really?
Actually, I guess I'll roll one more.
You weak man.
Unless
Roll
someone want to heal me once, because I need 10 more health. But I don't know, 64 is a good number.
Oh yeah, during all this, I'm gonna. Can I do this at the start of the downtime? Call over Alquil, and like I say, hey Alquil, I got something I want to give you.
All right.
Undo like the makeshift bracelets that I made out of that like dragon scaled orb that is my pearl of power.
Aha.
And like here, this is probably gonna be a bit more helpful for you than it is for me around as we start going forward here.
I look at this. It's like, what is this?
It's a pearl of power I picked up a few years back when I was in Waterdeep. It helps spellcasters like us regain a little bit of power when we need it, when we're running dry.
I nod. I was just like, well, you sure you're gonna be fine without it?
I just feel like it's going to be more useful for you, which will make it more useful to me.
I nod and also give him a smile. Thanks, Lucas.
It also has the added benefit of letting you know if a dragon is near.
I blink a few times. It's like, okay, that is interesting. I'll just take it. And you know, what did you describe it as? Like, do you have a written description of it? I can write in.
Let me see. Let me go through my list of items.
I am now attuned to 2 items again, after the bloodstone went missing.
This is what I had written down for it.
Bowl of dragon scales. Close one.
Yeah, I just had it like tied into a woven bracelet on my wrist.
All right. Well, I will attune to that during the short rest then.
All right. Good thing. So, you do that, and the short rest concludes, and Briark just sort of like stands up, brushes himself off, and says, "All right, break time's over. Let's get moving before something catches up to us."
Right.
Yeah, so he sort of like looks around, sees that basically there's still basically only one continuing pathway here, although now it's kind of like this much wider cavern that seems to just sort of go on, and he just sort of like looks around and just says, "Watch your step, careful of any pitfalls or anything." Said, "There's a tendency for big sinkholes to open up in rooms like this." He said, "Just stay close, move slow." And he begins to kind of like carefully walk off.
All right.
I stay real close, right up on him, like stepping on his heels almost.
I say if he minds, he doesn't really seem to like say anything about that or anything.
Wait. I look at Al Quill and go like, you and me we are kind of heavy, aren't we, compared to everyone else? And I'm the only one who's strong enough to lift you up. So I take out the rope and go like, you want to like hold on to this, and I can hold on to the other end in case you fall down.
I look at it as like, that's a good idea, and I'll tie the rope to me.
Yeah, I tie the other part to myself.
Are you wearing armor of any kind, by the way?
Muscles.
I see that they're tying each other together, and I look at Alex. I was like, maybe we should do the same,
What? Why?
just in case a sinkhole.
Oh, right. Okay, that's fine then.
I look at Briark and say, "I can't carry you."
And he just sort of like rolls his eyes. It's like, "I'll be fine."
And I flex and I show him my inverted biceps.
All right. So, yeah, a couple of you guys begin like tying each other off with a rope just in case.
Nibby, do you want to join our rope chain?
This has never
Yes,
gone
please.
poorly. for
Well,
you in
no,
the
that's
past.
a bad idea.
This
Yes, look, every time we have used ropes and tied themselves to us, it's only ended badly, and it ends with me having 2 or 3 more ropes than I started with.
There's been a lot of ropes that have had to be cut up due to the tying thing. Anyways, so you guys are heading through this cavern for a while, and eventually it begins to sort of like become claustrophobic again as the cavern kind of like narrows to the point where you're basically like all following. You get through basically the area where there's the risk of sinkholes. Like basically instead of going straight through this cavern though, Briork's kind of like leading you on this like snaking winding trail through it that seems to like waste a lot of time. And as you kind of reach up into this next cavern, and before we see what you come across next, we are going to go ahead and take our first break here. So we will be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
Rip.
I'll see you then.
Internet's gonna go out.
And we are back for more hot Storm King's Thunder action. Getting back in where we left off in a cold, damp, dark cave. I will say at this point, how long do torches last? I think it's only like an hour, right?
Our
Dark vision lasts forever.
Dark vision lasts forever, but torches don't. So, yeah, at this point, Alquil, you will have to strike off another torch.
Yep.
And yes, so you do so as the rest completes, and you begin heading down back through the cave, and you can see it narrows again to this sort of long winding stretch where you're kind of going up and down and just kind of very disorienting, but Briark assures you that you seem to be at least heading in the right direction as far as you could tell. However, you guys come up, the cave opens up again, and you find yourselves in what looks like a incredibly large kind of like cavern complex almost. And Briark stops, and you can see that he has stopped basically as you get closer, Alcohol, and your light begins to spill out. You can see he has stopped at the edge of what looks like this like massive sheer cliff. However, as you kind of like take a moment to look around a bit more, you can see you would basically come out into this big open room where there's a chasm that kind of cuts across it. And there is like a single like natural rock formation bridge that spans this gap over the chasm. And then you can see like further, those of you with dark vision at least can see further down below that there is another bridge sort of coming across at a different angle further down below, connecting between two other like cavern entrances. And then you can just barely make out in the darkness perhaps yet another bridge kind of further down below. And it seems like this sort of like large cavern like crossroad network almost, as like bridges are spanning across different caverns. Some of them look natural, some of them look as though they were kind of guided in their construction. And Brayark has like stopped everybody, and those of you with dark vision, can you go ahead and make perception checks and maybe see why he has like stopped everybody?
Why are you making these at disadvantage, Warren?
He's exhausted.
He is
Fair
exhausted,
enough.
yes. Is that everybody with dark vision? Probably.
Yeah, because it's two humans and a halfling.
Human
all
and
the two.
yes. So, Lucas, unfortunately, is not really paying enough attention. However, Greknar, you notice as you're looking around, even despite your relative exhaustion, that down below on the bridge, like down below the level that you're on, he is like stopped because down on this bridge there is a massive like patrol of what appear to be dark-skinned elves with sort of like whitish hues of hair, their skin kind of like blues and purples, and there are a number of like spiders traveling with them, and there's basically like this huge caravan of drow on the bridge down below, and they seem to be stopped, like they're not moving. And at this point, Briark sort of like turns to the group and he says, it's a big group of drow down below. They don't look like they're moving anytime soon. He says, we can try to sneak past them, but if they notice us, well, I don't think we can fight off so many.
Are they heading in our direction?
I said, they're down below us on the next path. Doesn't look like they're moving anywhere right now.
Let's just wait them out.
He says, all right, but it might be a while.
How many are there? Can I count them?
I mean, you could start attempting to count, but you're kind of barbarian. You're just like, but you get to the point where you're like you run out of fingers and toes to count on, and then you're kind of guessing from there.
I still have one intelligence plus.
I know,
Can I
but
see them now that like I'm assuming they've been pointed out?
yeah, as soon as they're like pointed out, you can see them.
I offer my toes and my fingers.
You get to the point where basically There's like more than 50 of them.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like
They
we
almost
shouldn't
seem to
fight
look like they're like camped out on this bridge. If your plan is to kind of like wait them out, what would somebody please, other than Greknar, would somebody please make a, well, I guess, I don't know. So Alexei seems to want to wait them out. What does everybody else think? Does anybody else have
After all,
a
this is a
have a
democracy.
solution have a solution to this problem?
No, this is a dictatorship, and I'm Hitler.
For this challenge, would you anybody like to use a skill to overcome this challenge?
Okay.
Stealth past
Call
them.
lightning on them.
I'm assuming, yeah, stealth passing them would be our option. Like, how far do we have to go to cross this bridge?
It's like 100 feet or so across the chasm. Like, it's pretty long.
Could we sneak
How
across
far-
that, or would it be kind of obvious that there's somebody up here on this bridge above them?
You could
How far
probably sneak across it, but you'd basically be like on your belly, kind of like army crawling your way, just to like avoid getting any sight lines or anything. It would be slow, but
Yeah.
possible.
But we could do it.
Or we could wait here.
Okay,
and wait them out.
how thick is the bridge? How heavy is it?
It's a pretty large bridge. Probably
So
at
it's-
least 5 to 10 feet, like thick at its thickest portions, of like
So
solid stone.
Okay, so not something we could break easily.
Not easily, no. Not without
I
like
say we
magic.
just sneak across.
Yes, magic. Staring at the legacy. It's up to you guys. I'm following your lead at the moment.
Do we have the time to be just sitting here waiting?
I mean, it's not like we're short on time.
I mean, how much? I don't know. I think we should try the stealth.
I mean, can I like look at these guys and like, can we tell like, are they're just camped out on the bridge, right?
Yeah,
Or maybe
for
not
now.
camped out.
They
but-
they kind of look like they're either camping or hanging out, or like something is up that's causing them to be stopped here on this bridge.
Can I like see why, or does it look like something that like there's just they're doing their thing and I can't really tell?
You could attempt to make an insight check to see what it is that might be causing them this delay.
I don't think Greknar would be able to assist me on that. would
No,
he?
he is not allowed to make a skill check on this particular one.
Oh, does this count as like the overall skill check?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It would be, yeah.
I already pushed the button. I thought it was just to glean more information to help me make a final decision.
No. So looking down at this caravan, you can see basically that as you're kind of like looking over the drow, trying to figure out why they've stopped. You notice probably about like midway through the caravan, there is a large group of drow along one of these spiders that they appear to be using as like beasts of burden of some sort. And you notice that basically they seem to be crouched down near the spider's abdomen, and as you're like looking a bit more closely, you can see that the spider appears to have been injured somehow. And in fact, you sort of get the feeling like the caravan has stopped to like deal with this injury. And it actually doesn't look like it's going to take them very long to like figure this problem out and move along.
Oh, fine. I'll like tell them like, hold up, guys, before we go sneaking up over there, like I was talking about. It looks like they're stopped because of a spider. It's hurt. Yeah, I really don't think it's gonna take them that long to get this taken care of. I think we should do what Alexei says and just wait it out. I don't think it will take that long. You know, unless they're horrible at taking care of their pet spiders.
All right, let's wait then.
All right, so that is the second success, and yeah. So you guys, after having seen this fact, wait for maybe like 5-10 minutes before before they sort of seem to have solved the problem and like healed the spider's wounds. And then the caravan begins to like move out of the way, and Brayark sort of like lets out a sigh of relief, and he's like, "Huh." Says, "As much as I'd like to kill every last one of them, I don't think we could have taken them. Says, they're moving on now, so we'll wait a few more minutes and then head across. Good eye." All right, and yeah, so you guys wait for a couple more minutes just to make sure the drow are well and truly out of sight, and Brayark leads you across the gap, and you have sort of successfully traversed this cavern, and once more you begin entering into winding networks of caverns that kind of begin twisting and turning, leaning up and down, rather disorientingly, and eventually, after we'll say another like 20 minutes to half an hour of walking, so Alquil's torch is about like half done at this point. You all see that the tunnel opens up once again into a smaller kind of open cavern room. You can see it is tall, looking up towards the ceiling. Those of you with dark vision can see the ceiling appears to be about like 50 feet tall, and there are a number of like pit holes and kind of chasms cut in the roof. And there are a large number of stalactites and stalagmites kind of spread throughout the cavern that almost create this sort of like maze-like quality to this room. You kind of have to like dodge your way or shimmy around some of the cave formations, but you can see there is another like cave exit on the other side of this area. It's pretty small. It's maybe only about like 40-50 feet across, but it's also very tall. So those two of you that do have dark vision, what are your passive perceptions?
11.
Passive. That's just perception, right?
Yeah, so it'd be just your perception plus 10, but then for you, because you have disadvantage right now, it's -5.
Okay. 9 then.
Okay. So, Lucas, as you're kind of entering into this room, you notice that scattered amongst the stalagmites in the room are what appear to be several like skeletal figures. They're just bones kind of piled in between the stalagmites. They look old. They look like they've been there for a while.
All right. So I'm assuming that I'm not walking too far in the front here, obviously.
No, yeah,
Brayark
Brayark has kind of like,
probably-
as you enter into this cave, Brayark has like stopped everybody just to like take a look around and assess the situation before proceeding.
I just kind of like speak up. Like, you see those skeletons out there, right, Brayark?
Yeah, so you sort of like point that out, and he kind of like looks around and he says, yeah, I see him. He says, oh, wow, holy crap.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of them.
And he says, you don't say. He
Is
kind of
that
like, he kind of like,
natural
squints,
here in the Underdark?
and he says,
Or should we be worried?
I said, well, it's not exactly uncommon to come across long deceased adventurers or explorers, but there are quite a few here. Maybe we should keep an eye out. He kind of like
yeah.
he kind of like
Join-
looks around. He says, but I don't see any sign of drow or. He says,
I take my axe with both my hands as I keep moving.
okay.
Can I like try to make an actual look around the room, not a passive one?
Yeah, if you want to actively try to look around the room, you can go ahead and make a perception check.
Does anyone want to assist me?
Sure,
I
I'll
can
just-
like
I don't
I can
have
give you
vision.
advantage, since I also can see in the dark.
I'll assist you, and I'll just go and point into darkness. Is there something there? Is something there?
yeah,
What about
yeah. Yeah, Gregnar's
So
probably
there's
the only
something
one that
here.
could actually like assist in this situation.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he said he did.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Awesome.
I am.
13.
13. Yeah, so looking around, now that you're a bit like wary from seeing these like skeletons, you don't see any signs of creatures kind of like prowling behind anything or trying to like hide themselves. It just seems kind of like open. There's just like this large collection of skeletons kind of scattered around. Maybe this is like an old like something used to live here and kill people, but is long since gone.
Yeah, probably. Let's go with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, let's bet our lives and probably. Sure. What's the worst that could happen?
Death.
You could
Lead the
die.
way. Obviously, as usual, I always have my longsword out.
Any cute? Oh.
All right. So, Burr kind of like looks around. And he says, I don't know. I can't see anything. Let's just make our way across quickly."
I kind of like tell them to stay back a little. Like, I'll go first. And I kind of like grab my axe with both my hands. I actively look around and move forward.
All right, so Graknar begins leading everybody forward into this cavern, and like I said, you're kind of like snaking around between large stalagmites that are sticking up out of the floor, kind of like having to like kick some of the bones aside as you do so, and you get
Keep an eye on loot.
yeah, you get about like halfway through the chamber, like the group of you, before suddenly you hear like this kind of like whipping sound, almost like something like cutting through the air rather quickly, and completely taken by surprise, you all like see basically up on the ceiling about 50 feet up, one of the stalactites suddenly has this big wide open eye, and this like toothy maw that is opened, and there are like tentacles now swiping down and trying to like grab people up, but you are all taken by surprise, and I'm gonna go ahead and move it on over.
That's no moon.
He's kind of like
That crying I hear in the background.
here, but he's also on the ceiling, so he's 50 feet
No,
up.
It's Thor on the toilet.
It burns.
Oh yeah, and just like just pretend that there's a lot more stalagmites around here. Like you guys were like squeezing through them and whatnot. So go ahead and roll initiative, everybody. However, you are surprised in the first round.
Do I have disadvantage on on initiative too?
You do. It is a ability check.
Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah. Well, at least I go last. It's also pretty good to go last, actually.
Because then you might be dead.
No, it's like
Then you
I
wouldn't
can
have wasted
finish
time. Yeah.
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 I can finish off everything you guys can't.
Fucking kill stealer.
No, it's kill securing. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know
That's
nothing?
true, Mike.
Shut up, James. You're kill stealing all the time.
I'm having issues with my sheet and the page loading.
Classic. Why didn't you load your sheet like 5 hours ago? Then it would have been
I
ready
did,
by now.
but then I like had to reset Roll20 because I accidentally clicked another tab, and
F.
you know how it works.
Alright, so I got
I
Alexei,
got them clicky
Nibby.
fingers.
Didn't add Greknar in.
What's that
which
giant
is
purple
weird.
thing? Is that a purple wyvern or worm or whatever they're called?
What?
Is that a purple worm? That big old purple? I see it.
You mean this thing?
I don't know if you pinged anywhere. Like, I'm still loading it. I just see
Oh.
a very blurred purple thing.
Oh, you're probably just seeing the cave decoration then.
Nah, it's a purple worm.
Yeah, it is. You got me. It's a CR-15 purple worm. He's coming
Damn
for
straight.
you.
I'm gonna fucking murder it.
What's the worst that could happen, boys?
Death.
Death. Yeah.
Death.
Is
How
the
is that always the worst
sheet
with you guys?
naturally this pixely, or am I just like having a really hard time
it
loading
is,
in
it
there?
is when you're like first loading in.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not just okay.
Yeah. I guess I'll roll Alquils for him.
The shit stain.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Loaded in. It's 100% a purple worm. Don't lie to me.
Purple
I'm just gonna
worm.
wait for
Purple
that sheet to load.
worm. What is your initial? Okay, so you go first, Greknar.
Well, I don't know. What about me?
Well, because Elko also rolled a 3, but he has a 3.01 as opposed to a 3.02.
Huzzah, huzzah.
Man, this sheet is killing me.
I guess I'll switch this.
Can someone write to Thor saying I need to wipe his butt because we're playing?
But to just
mean,
roll mine in chat.
We're not gonna
and
force
then-
him to wipe just as long as he gets here.
I got a 20.
Yeah, I
Brad.
mean, he's got a lot of time. His turn's at the end, so.
Force him to wipe now.
Alright, so you got a 20.
I'm back.
Alright,
Hey.
Oh god, he's
What lords?
returned.
he is returned.
Oh, why the fuck's
Force
there
wipe.
a big Roper picture? Oh god.
Yep.
Yes, so you
Good
are
thing
all
Alexei was going first.
you are all taken by surprise as this roper that was indistinguishable from a normal stalactite on the ceiling suddenly springs to life and its tendrils go whipping out. Nibelung, Lucas, and Alexei, you all get turns before it, so you have your reactions back at this point in time. However, you are unable to move or take actions.
Welp.
And now it is going to whip down, and it is going to make some attacks. So first things first, Greknar, one of these tendrils comes whipping down towards you. The attack is with advantage because the creature was hidden.
Yes.
We'll say basically you guys go, you get like your ability to react, and then all of a sudden you see this thing. So it is attacking out of hiding still.
Yeah.
And of course, as is typical, everything breaks as soon as I try to give something advantage. So
Thank you. I don't think it's just me. I think the roll 20's having issues right now.
I think Roll20 definitely has issues. So 2d20, keep highest, and it has a +7. So Greknar. Whoops, that didn't work.
No.
KH1 +7, please.
Go hard or go home, I guess.
So it grabbed you. Luckily enough, this tendril attack doesn't actually do any damage. However, you are grappled and restrained.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
And then it is going to make another tendril attack. This one is going to be on Alexei, and it happens simultaneously as this creature emerges. So it also has advantage on this one.
Man, are we all still roped together?
No, I would assume you would have stopped doing that after you got through that
Okay.
trouble.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Alexei, a 20, I believe, will hit you, and I don't think shield can save you from that one.
Yep.
So you are also grabbed. So
Oh no.
now that it has two of you grabbed, it is going to use its real part of its multi-attack, and you just watch, the rest of you watch Greknar and Alexei get yanked up 25 feet into the air towards this creature. Both of them being grabbed and restrained by its tentacles. So you are now 25 feet up in the air. The creature itself the creature itself is still 25 feet away from them. It was 50 feet up. And then, as it lifts you up, you guys notice some of the other smaller stalactites begin to, like, squirm around. And, like, mouths begin to appear on some of them. And then, suddenly, dropping from the ceiling, a couple of these stalactites fall on you.
On us or them?
No, on the two that are grabbed by the tentacles.
Stalactites are falling on us. That's nice.
Don't worry, guys. Give me a turn to summon my bow.
Why do you not just have it out all the time?
Because I had the sword out, okay?
What the fuck are these things?
There are new things? I can't say anything. This is... Ooh, roll 20.
All right, so they also have advantage because you are restrained. So, Alexei, flash R to D20, keep highest. So the one against you hits you.
Yeah.
So you are going to take 1d6 plus it falls 30 feet, so another 3d6. So you take 12 points of piercing damage as this creature basically like falls on you with its like sharp, spiky mouth. And then you notice it like starts to begin falling more, and the roper reaches out and grabs it with one of the tentacles. And then the other one on you, Graknar, is going to also try to drop down on you. An 18, I believe, will hit you.
Yes.
So
well,
you
pretty
take
sure.
20 points of piercing damage as this creature lands on you. And
Jesus
similarly, you see
Christ.
the roper lets out one more tendril and grabs this one before it falls any further, and kind of like lifts them back up into safety near the ceiling. And now you can actually see that more of these creatures appear to be like squirming on the ceiling in waiting. And then Graknar, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna ask one thing. I'm restrained, right?
Yes, you are grappled and restrained, and you are 25
Okay.
feet up in the air.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, how many of those small little shits up in the air are there?
You can see two, basically, like the two that like drop down.
Okay, so is it possible that if I rage now, that can I hold my attacks, both my attacks, until they drop down and strike them as they're falling on me?
Yeah, it's totally possible. You would only get one attack, readying an attack like that. But yeah, you can rage and then ready to attack, but you would only ever get one attack.
Okay, I can't get two.
No, yeah, you can't ready a multi-attack, kind of like that.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna one more thing is what kind like the tendril I'm in like stuck around me.
Mhm.
Is it possible to hold on to it and slide down it if I like damage it enough for it like release myself from the grapple, and he will start squirming
So
if I try to release.
So you get the feeling if you were to attack it and like try to like break it like that, it would just like it would snap off and you would just fall.
No. I mean, if I break loose from the grapple, not attack it. If I just break loose from the grapple, can I still like hold on to it with my arm? So I'm kind of like hanging from it and not falling straight down.
No. So basically, like if you escape from it, it reels back and like you get dropped.
Okay. Then I'm gonna rage and I'm gonna hang there ready to strike whatever comes falling down at me.
All right. Sure thing.
So,
Alquil. Yeah, Alquil, so the scene plays, you're like walking through like a field of stalagmites. Suddenly a stalactite up above begins to move and just yanks Alexei and Graknar into the air, and you see like little smaller stalactites fall on them and then get like lifted back up in the air by this large one. So they're 25 feet up in the air and it's 50 feet up, like on the ceiling, attached to the ceiling.
So can I also get great weapon master on that attack?
What's the wording on Great Weapon Master? I think you do it when you make an attack. Does it say like when you make an attack, or does it say when you make an attack on your turn?
I'm about to do a
On your turn,
dumb thing.
before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon that you're proficient with, you can choose to take a fight
Okay, yeah,
penalty.
so you can Great Weapon Master on like an opportunity or reaction attack.
Okay, then I'm doing that.
All right,
I'm about to do something incredibly stupid because I can't get up there normally.
You're gonna grapple yourself up with your giant thing, aren't you?
No, because that requires it to be 2 sizes larger than me.
Don't worry, I got you.
I got you, fam.
Okay, I don't know what Lucas is planning, so you know, I'm going to use.
Red Bull.
I don't know that.
True, you don't. So do your stupid thing.
I'm going to. Well, fuck. That's just 30 feet. Fuck.
I guess you can't do your stupid thing.
Yeah, no, I can't do my stupid thing. I'm just gonna. I don't know. Ready to attack to strike something if anything falls down on me.
All right. Nibby.
You still have a short bow, don't you?
Yeah. I guess.
I'm just saying, it's better than nothing.
It's 50 feet up,
Yes.
and Kreknor and Alexi are 25.
Yeah, they are 25, like wrapped up in its tendrils.
I literally can't do anything. I cannot reach them. So 60-foot line. I guess I'll do the same, and then I will. Actually, is there something climbing? These stalactites or mites, whatever, the ones on the ground.
Stalagmites are the ones on the ground, yes.
Do they go all the way up, or do they stop?
No, they maybe go like 10, 15 feet up at the highest point.
Oh. I hope Mike is thinking the same as me now.
I don't think I am, because I can't reach with what I'm thinking.
You can still do transforms, right?
Do what?
Transform, like.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have the reach for that anyway. Yeah, I'll just ready to produce flame. I'll set my hand on fire and ready to throw a little flame thing on something that comes within range.
Okay.
And it's a 30 range.
I guess for like everybody's like basically knowledge here, I know D&D is kind of like weird sometimes about like being able to attack something that's grabbing or not attack something that's grabbing. In this case, the tendrils are a separate thing that can be attacked and destroyed. However, obviously, if you do, your friends go falling to the ground.
What if that's what we want?
You want to kill them?
All right, Lucas.
Kind of torn here. To summon the bow and be ready to attack next turn, but I want a protector up there, so I'm gonna step up to Alquill and like hand on his shoulder and said, "Fly, Alquill," and I'm gonna cast Fly on him.
Whee!
Fly on the wings of love.
All right. So,
And,
Alquill, you
like,
you feel your feet grow lighter.
You know, like,
Yes.
and then just,
Lucas just comes over, hands me a Red Bull.
Well, he taps you on the back, and like I guess maybe we see these sort of like large, like spectral dragon wings almost emerge out of Alquill's back, but like nobody can really like see them. It's just like an effect, basically.
Yep.
Yep. And then you know, prepare to get rid of my weapon and summon the new one next turn.
All right.
And then wait for the third turn out to finally attack.
Lexei, you are currently grappled and restrained, dangling 25 feet up in the air by this, grabbed by this creature's tendrils. You were just.
Can I attack?
You were just yanked up. Yeah, you have disadvantage on attacks because you're restrained, but you can attack.
Ah! Let me go. I'm just gonna try and zap the tendrils.
The one holding you.
Wow.
So unfortunately,
That was a double one. Too.
So unfortunately, as you're kind of like reaching around trying to like grab at the tendrils, it's like moving in such a way that you just can't get it. You're kind of being like tossed around. Double one. Roll a d20 now.
See if you spiritually die.
Yes.
Just shock himself to death.
All right, so the two piercers that were grabbed by the tentacles reattach themselves to the ceiling, and the roper lets them go. And then they just get themselves ready. And then it's roping time. So, now let's see. Target assessment. We have Alquil, heavy chain or heavy armor, heavy plate mail armor. No thanks. Lucas is wearing a breastplate. Nibby, however, you are
Pretty
kind of
medium armor.
lighter armored. So, it's going to make its first attack against you. It doesn't have advantage anymore. But you can see a tendril comes lashing out towards you, Nibby.
I will use
Alright.
protect.
Alright, so it will have disadvantage on this one.
Is this something I can react to, like attack with my held action?
Um,
You did say we could attack the tentacles.
yeah, I guess you could.
Okay.
I will still use protect instead of my whole ready action.
Alright, so these, especially when they're in motion, these tentacles are, like, pretty hard to hit. But you manage to, as you see this tendril flying down towards you, shoot this bolt of flame at it that just kind of, like, burns up, the tendril. And you watch as it kind of begins to, like, ooze this, like, strange, kind of, like, purplish black blood. And then the creature, like, shrieks, and you watch as the tendril just sort of splits off from its body, drops limply to the ground, and another one, like, begins to grow to take its place.
Hot.
So, that attack, we'll just say basically that attack just misses automatically. It loses that attack. So it's going to make its next attack at Lucas.
How about no?
Did I use my reaction then for the protect, or
Yeah, because I think you have to use your reaction when you see the attack starting.
Alright.
So, yeah, you kind of had to, like, move and react, but unfortunately, Nibby dealt with it beforehand. Yeah, so Lucas, it is going to lash out at you.
Ow.
24.
I can't even shield that.
Yep. So you get grabbed and restrained.
Ha,
No damage.
Joke's on you. Pull me into your range, bitch.
This is what I wanted all along.
So that's the second tendril attack.
Don't have to summon my goddamn weapon now.
Okay, so yeah, so it is going to then use its real action. Greknar and Alexei, you get pulled another 25 feet closer, so you are now right next to this thing, 55 feet or 58 feet in the air.
How's
At
the
the top of
smell,
the ceiling.
guys?
Lucas, you get pulled 25 feet up, and you're now like dangling in the air by its tendril.
Whee!
And Lucas, there is a little friend that, as a ready to action, drops on you.
Do it, pussy.
It's 2d20, keep highest 1, plus 3. Okay, 20.
It hits.
Alright. And you don't want to shield that?
No.
Okay, so you take 13 points of piercing damage. And then you watch as the Roper uses one of its remaining tentacles to grab the thing before it falls and lifts it back up. And then it actually has one more tendril remaining.
There's still two people down there.
Yeah, so as far as validated targets for it, it's still not rating Alquil very highly. So it's just going to go after Nibby with the last remaining tentacle.
Does that actually his reaction to defend Nibby still work then? Because they come right after each other.
I know, it's only on one attack.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. 22, Nibby.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are grappled and restrained. However, it has already reeled everybody in, so you're still just on the ground.
Yay.
All right, and then now that it's made its 4 attacks and it's real, now that somebody is within range, it can make its bite attack, and it is going to do so against Alexei, the softest target.
Can I just ask something? I prepared an attack to attack something that came within range.
Yeah, you
lifted
can-
me up.
You can it is within range, so you can attack it. You
Still
do have
disadvantage
yes,
for
you have
some reason.
disadvantage because you're restrained.
He specifically said something falling past.
Shh.
Within attack range.
I'll give it to him. I think, he said something, but his intent was basically like, I want to hit something that I can hit.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you miss.
No.
This creature is actually like its skin is kind of like stone hard, and you swing at it with your axe, and it just like sparks off of it.
Great, we need magic weapons.
Um,
I'm the only one who has one.
and now it is going to finally make its bite attack against Alexei, her being the softest, squishiest target. So 2d20, keep the highest because you're restrained, and then it has a +7. Yeah, that probably hits you, right?
Yeah.
So, Alexei, you take 23 points of piercing damage.
Well, I'm taking a fucking beating right now, boys.
You boys took a hell of a beating.
Oh, I need to roll a concentration check for
For
when that-
fly.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
It's just a
Okay.
save, right? Or is
Yeah,
it
it's just a save.
Well,
Well, rip fly.
oh, you're stuck on the ground, my friend.
All right, and at this point in time, you can see that this creature begins to move very, very slowly. It moves basically like it shifts 5 feet over, carrying everybody, and begins moving towards one of those like cracks in the ceiling that seems to like lead up.
Oh, he's gonna escape.
Graknar.
Do I see the tendril that's holding Nibby on the ground?
Yeah, although kind of you're held to one side, so it's kind of like because this thing has tendrils coming out all over it. It would be
Yeah.
a stretch, but you could maybe reach it.
Oh yeah, because I was wondering
I
if I could attack him.
I will say
Attack
though,
the
the tendrils are just as hard to hit as this creature is. So
Yeah. Fuck. Fuck that. I'll actually just rage strike the creature since I'm holding on to it.
okay.
The actual creature. Fuck, it's not disadvantage now. Yeah, it is. Fuck, you know. It was a natural 20 there too.
F.
Hard being tired.
It has nothing to do with that. We're restrained.
He's tired.
Sweat.
Oh yeah, that.
All right. So you swing twice. The first blow just misses wildly. The second blow, you strike into it, and you feel as if you're just about to break through its armor before it just deflects off. You're not quite able to break through its tough hide.
Please.
All right. And then we have
Um,
Alquil alone on the
So
ground.
question,
Well, I
yeah,
guess not
is
alone.
it possible to grapple a tendril?
Can I item reaction take out a potion?
Yeah, I'll say you can like grab a potion out. As far as like grappling a tendril, no, not really, because it's not like its own creature moving of its own volition. It's like an extension of this creature.
Damn it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to like grab the tendril and kind of like.
Wouldn't
Alright.
it be able?
Could he grab a Lucas?
Well, I mean, he would somehow have to jump 25 feet up in the air, but
Fair
theoretically,
enough.
yes. He could maybe grab onto Nibby.
Hey!
This is just a question, like completely random. But if I was on the ground, could I like grab his tendrils and try to pull him down from the roof?
I would say no. I don't think that the tendrils
Oh.
are enough of his mass to be able to like do that.
Oh. Okay. That was just to satisfy my.
Theoretically, how far can I throw Nibby?
Oh god.
Purely hypothetically.
Well, probably maybe like 10 feet.
Okay. I could grab onto Lucas and he could reel us both up.
If you could somehow get 25 feet up in the air, you could.
Yeah, I can get it of 30 feet up.
He's flying,
Nice.
remember?
No, the
No,
fly
I
ended.
lost mine.
Do it.
So okay, sure. I'll Misty Step.
Yes.
This is what I wanted to do earlier, but it was 50 feet, and this only teleports me 30 feet. So I'll teleport up to Lucas, and I'll try to grab onto him.
All
I
right.
see him and I try to grab onto him with my reaction.
Yeah. So this happens. Alquil, why don't you make me? We'll say it's going to be like a dex save for you, and Lucas, you can like make a strength save, and well, we'll do Lucas first. Make a strength save and see if you can like grant him advantage on it.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so yeah,
I'm a
Alquil,
very weak man.
you're making like a dex save because you're like trying to grab onto something while you're falling.
All right.
Hmm?
An 11.
Hmm?
Yeah, I would say an 11 is sufficient for this. You're grabbing onto like a willing target sort of. So you basically like you begin falling and you like start to miss and then you basically like grab onto his leg. So now you're kind of like dangling from his leg.
Yep. So sword in the other hand, like in one. Shield's down there. I've just dropped the shield.
All right.
All right.
Um,
I'll wait.
I gotta hold on for 2 more turns and I'll cast
Or,
a fly on you.
am I able to use more of my movement to climb further up, Lucas?
Yeah, I mean you could probably like climb up. Well, I mean I don't know. Yeah, maybe you could like. It's pretty difficult, but maybe you could climb up so you're like basically like grabbing over his shoulder or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get a better position, not so tenuous.
Yeah, just so I can get in a position so I can actually hit this thing once it draws me closer. And I guess this will have used my action.
Yeah, it would have been your action to like grab on after.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have just fallen.
Yeah, exactly.
Nibby. So you are currently grabbed and restrained by one of these tentacles, still on the ground. You can see all.
But I'm still on the ground.
Yeah. Because it attacked you after reeling everybody in.
So would I know why it retracted after when I hit it with fire? Is it like, can I make some kind of insight check or knowledge check for that?
No check required. You destroyed the tendril.
Oh,
And so it just basically like kind of like lizard-like, just like got rid of it and then started to grow a new one.
okay. Did it seem like it hurt the creature?
No, it didn't hurt the creature at all.
Dang it. I'm gonna ready. Damn it. I'll ready another produce flame, and I will for when the creature is within my reach. So I'm just gonna wait for him to pull me up.
All right. Yeah, because once you are you ready to produce flame?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So once it pulls you up, you'll be within the 30 feet or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Lucas. Currently being grabbed onto by Alquil in this tendril.
Do I waste my last spell slot to make you fly again? Do we try this again?
If you take damage, you might lose it. I'm still gonna hold on to you.
Yeah. How do I feel like attacking in this situation with him holding on to me? Like, can I swing my sword? Like,
You're still restrained by the roper, so you have disadvantage anyway.
yeah.
You have disadvantage on attacks.
But like, Alquil wouldn't make it impossible.
No, I mean like you can. There's no such thing as like super mega impossible advantage, right? Like disadvantage. So like
Yeah.
like you're either disadvantaged or you're not. So
I mean, except for that one time where with Tom.
Yeah.
yeah,
Never
well
said
that's just
never
because he
again.
just stacked the odds against himself. I couldn't not give him like super mega disadvantage.
I don't even remember what he did.
He said something really dumb in a really bad situation.
Ah.
Mm, I'll hold off on casting anything for now, since we're gonna be pulled close. I'm going to Eldritch Blast it.
All right. Up at the main body or?
No, at the tentacle holding us. No, of course the main body, Brad.
Ah, damn it. Sure, go ahead.
Pretty sure I'm about to miss both of these.
Yeah, you're rolling with disadvantage, anyways. So
Oh well, it
I
doesn't
mean,
even matter then.
it doesn't
I
matter.
missed
You
both
don't
of
hit,
those.
anyways. Yeah. Yeah, both of those just miss. The second one just slams into its hard kind of like carapace armor and just disperses off of it. All right, Alexei.
How long does
I'm
a
in trouble.
packed weapon stay like in my hand, or like alive outside of my hand?
Forever until you
Oh my god!
until it
it
gives
happened
the-
until
again.
you can give your weapon to Elquil. It's just I think if it gets more than like 30 feet away from you, it disappears. But like until you like call it back, it just lasts.
Awesome.
This time I rolled a 20 and a 1.
Can I pass it to Alquil then, as like my item interaction?
Yeah, sure.
Alquil, use this. You're gonna need something magical on it, I think.
All right, I'll fucking drop the short sword. Or the
It's also
silver sword, I mean.
All right, so you drop your silver sword and it just clatters to the ground 30 feet down below.
it's
Yep.
a +1
Cool. It says +1 what? Longsword? Greatsword?
longsword.
Longsword. Cool.
Here, let me give you the description again.
Okay.
James is going for food now.
So the sword takes 10 points of damage.
Sword does?
Yeah, because you dropped it onto the ground from
Oh,
like
his
30
sword.
feet
I
up.
thought you meant mine. I was like, why the fuck is my magical sword taking damage?
It's kind of hard to like sheath the sword in my current position, so
Yeah.
I mean, you had. Well, no, you were holding on with one hand, to be fair.
yeah.
All right. Next up is
Fucking dare this motherfucker to bite me.
next
I will
up is
fucking hellish rebuke the fuck
the
out of it.
piercers. So this one, yeah, this one's going to ready. The other ones I think are just going to begin to move towards the chasm opening. Very slowly. Cool. Now it's roping time.
Stop saying that, Brad.
Make me. Pretty much everybody is grabbed at this point except Alquil.
Yeah, go ahead and try to grab Alquil.
I'll try. Nope.
That's it.
Oh wait, what? Ah, shit.
I don't have the shield on.
He
because
doesn't
I
have
had
the
to grab
shield.
him.
Ah, so you're grabbed. All right. So at this point, now that it has its other grapples available, the one piercer that readied its attack is going to do so. It is going to drop on top of Alexei.
Guys, we're about to just become another set of bones in this goddamn graveyard.
This might be.
I believe that hits Alexei.
That hits Alexei. He went
Uh,
to PRB.
Yeah, but he, luckily for him, is now only like 10 feet below where these
Unconscious.
things are, so he only takes 7.
Oh.
Yeah. It appears that these things do more damage when they fall farther.
Alright.
So he's still up. Then the creature just gets yoinked and kind of lifted back up to the ceiling. And then the roper. Well, I mean, it's gonna try to eat Alexei, really. Cool, yeah. So roll 20. Oh, yep.
Quick question. As with the small things in the roof, can I reach one of them?
No, so they're basically like they're kind of purposely staying out of like range of this creature. They've been dropping on things that it's dragging closer, but they're like not near it.
Okay.
Goddamn leeches is what they are.
They're babies.
They're
They
small
will-
baby ropers.
They will grow up to become big things like this one. So we should kill them all now.
All right, so
A
Alexei
genocide, you say?
goes
I
unconscious.
like it.
This creature is not going to reel people in.
God damn it.
It is in fact going to move
Reel people
another 5 feet and begins kind of dragging Graknar and Alexei with it, while letting the tendrils holding everybody else stay slack, and is moving into that sort of like chasm, like trying to get away, just very, very slowly.
Okay. Fuck this. Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Nice. Fuck that guy. Reckless attack. Raging. Die.
All right, so cancels out, so you're making regular attacks.
Yes.
All right, that hits. For
I
9.
thought he was rolling a normal, not advantage.
Why
Oh
am I
yeah,
rolling
not at
advantage?
advantage. So that first one would have missed.
The
Second
The
one
second
was-
one is
will
fine.
hit.
So
18.
wow, nice roll. So yeah, you deal it 18 points of damage. It definitely like shrieks in pain, and there's like splatters of purple black blood. However, it doesn't. That isn't enough damage for it to like not think this is a good idea just yet.
An item interaction. Can I put no, it's not item reaction to put the potion in my mouth, is there?
No, it's an action to drink a potion. All right, Alquill.
Yes.
Can I
You-
climb up the tendril?
No, because you are grappled and restrained. You have no movement speed.
Fine. Fine. I will use my last spell slot. Fuck you. I will teleport behind it.
Nothing personal, kid.
Oh, it's all personal.
All right, so you
Oh.
sort of turn into mist, kind of like streak up its tendrils and appear behind it.
And we'll try to grab it.
All right, so this one will say, since you were trying to like grapple it, it's going to be an athletics check
All right.
versus.
I will use my
its-
inspiration to get advantage on this.
Okay. So your athletics versus its athletics, aka its strength. All right, yeah, I can't even beat that. So you grab it. You grab onto it.
Yes. I grab onto it.
And you have multi attack, so you can make a.
Another strike. Yep.
You can attempt to strike it.
I will strike it now with the packed longsword. Oh. Nope. I wasn't supposed to roll with advantage either, but
Nope. Yeah, you miss. It just clatters off of its stony exterior. All right, Nibby.
Maybe he's just
So
being
it-
pulled along the
It's
ground.
back, but it's still a grappling effect.
Yeah, it didn't. It's like basically at the end of its slack, but it didn't reel anybody in that round. It seemed to be
You're
more
just
it's
focused.
hanging a little bit above the ground level.
Your toes are basically.
Yeah, you're
scraping the
you're just
ground.
like eh.
I'll try to burn this or destroy this tentacle then.
All right, go for it. You have disadvantage. Oh well, that misses anyways.
All right, good game.
Lucas.
This was such an AIDS thing to
you know.
fight.
Eldritch Blast. 1 damage.
With disadvantage.
Damn it.
Still
On the
Uh,
first one for the
so
first one and on the second one for the
okay,
second one. So, I think the
so-
first one still hits.
Yeah, it still
Oh,
hits
no.
for 1.
Yeah. Guys, I hit it.
You did it.
So did I.
And then, nah, I don't wanna.
All right, so Alexei, since she is not here,
Yes, I've just worked out one death save to be made for Alexei.
all right. At this point, the piercers are fucking off back to the nest.
Yep. About be ready to feed on a couple fucking idiots. Borog's just standing at the entrance of the cabin. It's like, what the fuck are they doing?
I imagine he got grabbed up in this somewhere too.
I mean, unless it's changed, is he still attached to me? Or like? do
I
still have
mean,
his-
yeah, but you like teleported, so like fictionally he can't literally
Yeah,
be.
fictionally he's not with me. But it's like I still have his card stats.
Spiritually.
Yes, good. That's all.
All right, so this Roper is going to make bite attacks against Graknar, and by bite attacks I mean 1, because that's all it gets.
Halved.
So yep, so
9.
you take 9.
9.
9.
Yeah, and it's just it's going to move. It starts moving around and up into the chasm now.
Okay, so all of us are going up now.
No, so basically those of you that are held, well, Nibelung's sort of very slowly getting pulled up. Lucas, you're actually being kept at like the same kind of distance that you were at, because it has slack that it can like give on the tendrils. And
Yeah.
it seems to be mostly focused on dragging up Alexei and Graknar. Alcohol just happens to be like up on it. But it's purposely keeping you and Nibelung at bay. But it has you grabbed just so you can't like do anything, like, you know. Greknar.
So can I use 1 attack and 1 heal, like 1 potion? Just
No,
one?
it is your
And then-
full action to use a
Okay,
potion, so you have
okay.
to.
Okay, fuck it. I have normal on. Whomp, whomp.
The first one hits. 9 points of damage. Again, the creature is just kind of like shrieking as you're like struggling against it, and make an insight check.
I know I'm gonna fall down if this happens, if that's the question. But sure.
So you can't quite tell, but you're a little bit familiar with like creatures in nature or whatever, and you're starting to get the feeling like you're putting up enough of a fight that this thing might think you're not worth it and just like let you go.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm betting on it.
Oh my god.
Grab Alexei.
You're
for the buttons. Grab onto
50
Alexei.
feet up there.
Elquil.
All right, I'm going to use the power of Briork Arnskull to empower me with an extra attack from Zephyr Strike.
All right.
It's a counter ability. And I will make 3 attacks against this thing.
Well, good start. All right, the last one hits.
Yes. Luckily. And can I crawl closer towards Alexei, or do I just like have to hold on like the way I am?
I think at this point you kind of have to just like hold on where
Yeah.
you are.
All right. And I'm not really within arm's reach of Alexei, so
No.
sad. But goodbye, Alexei. Sweet dreams.
Like, none of us can get to it.
Nibby.
That's what you get for playing a wizard and walking into a room where there's a lot of dead corpses with the rest of the team.
Yeah, should have stayed back.
Stayed back.
Attack the fucking thing. again.
Unfortunately for her, this thing has like 50-foot reach, so.
Yeah, but if she stayed at the cave entrance.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Just shy of
Ooh.
them 20s that we need.
Unfortunate. That will miss.
Alright.
Lucas.
Fuck it. I am going to hex it.
I have returned.
Welcome
Yeah,
back.
you're dead.
We need a one death save from you.
Oh, sweet.
I already rolled it. Well,
Sweet.
it's same result, so there you go.
Same result.
Why am I hex going through? There it is. Hex at disadvantage. Strength.
Good.
Wait, why is our quill down?
I'm not
Apple's
down.
He's not down.
You're down.
You're
Oh,
down.
right.
With a sickness.
I'm grappling onto the creature, holding on behind it, like stabbing it with my sword.
He's still on the grappling.
Missed
Hit.
both. My turn's over.
All right.
Well,
You
uh,
miss.
Please.
Wow.
Well,
Says you, the downed wizard.
All right.
Greknar is like about to be dropped.
Ha! Ah! Ah!
All
Not
right.
that
So
yet,
on
boys.
this creature's turn, I'm going to make a roll here.
Drops Greknar.
What is it's okay? Yeah, it's kind of
Don't eat me.
all right.
The rope bites into you to make sure you're dead.
So this creature, there's a moment before it quite clearly decides that Gregnar is no longer worth the trouble,
So,
and is going to kind of hold him, pull him out a little bit from it, and then just let go.
can I use my reaction to grab onto the tendril that's letting me go? Just to keep tied to it?
It's going to be. It would be difficult, but you can certainly attempt it. It would be a disadvantage, I'll say. But you can make a dexterity saving throw to try to.
I have used reckless. Give me a shot.
Yeah, but this isn't a strength thing. This is more of like a dexterity thing to try to like quickly.
Disadvantage, you say?
Yeah.
Yep.
Athletics or acrobatics or dex?
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, yeah. Dexterity saving throw. Dump.
No. So you sort of like miss wildly and then plummet to the ground 50 feet. So you take nice. Only eight points of falling damage. No, this is not.
No,
this is not
falling
half.
damage is just. It's not a specific type of damage. It's just falling damage. It just goes through.
Yeah, falling damage is basically like think of it as true damage.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue with this, but
Yeah.
technically, isn't it the same as bludgeoning?
No.
No,
It's pure damage.
No.
it's pure
No,
damage.
it's true
Like
damage.
tropes also
Just-
die to
just-
falling damage.
Just, I'm never mind. Just saying, basically, like, I know I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm just saying, basically, it wouldn't be.
I get what
Basically,
you're saying, but I'm still gonna say it's true damage because
basically, snakes don't have parts. Anyways, then it is going to. Let's see, how many tendrils does it have? It can have up to that many. It's got one on you. It's got one on you. It's got one on you. So it's got 3 left. So, Alquil.
Yes.
Let's see here. No,
Miss.
that one grabs you.
That one will hit me. Yes.
So you get grabbed.
Yeah. I'm also
Um,
grabbing it.
Yeah, you're
Fuck
also
yeah.
grabbing it. Well, you're like holding on to it, and it's like actually like restraining you.
Yeah. What I mean is it can't move. Oh, yeah, technically it can't move anymore either.
Well, let's see here. Okay, so what it's going to try to like pull you back. So
All right.
go ahead and make a strength. I guess we'll just call it. We'll call this athletics.
Yeah.
As it uses its last like tendril attack to try to do that.
Fuck.
Well, I mean it has disadvantage, so
All right.
due to that hex, right? Because that's ability checks.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
I've done everything I could for you.
Whoop. Oh wait, I did it the wrong way. Well, I mean it's one different. Anyways, Yeah, so it
Yeah.
successfully like pulls you back and away, so you're no longer grappling it.
Oh no.
So it pulls you out a little bit, and then just boop.
I try to grab it.
Okay. Go make a disadvantaged dexterity saving throw to try to grab the tendril as it like suddenly reels back. Quickly. 15. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, I will say that the DC for this maneuver was probably 20, so unfortunately you are not able to grab it in time.
Goodbye, Alexei.
I'm really about to abandon Alexei too.
And you take 21 points of falling damage.
Oh, ow.
Don't do it, guys. I'm your friend.
And yeah, then it moves up into the chasm. And I think at this point, as it's kind of moving up into the chasm, it is also going to drop Lucas.
Oh.
So
Alright,
you
that's like
Maybe?
the 2d6.
no, because you're kind of like at the, well, yeah, I guess we'll call it 2d6 because you were 25, so I'll give you the round down on that one. So you take 10.
And Nibby, is it dropping Nibby or is it holding on to Nibby?
I think at this point it doesn't drop Nibby, but it has to release him because now it's like moving up and it doesn't want to carry it with him.
Yeah.
So now it's just taking Alexei and like fucking off into the chasm up there with her unconscious body. And you are now on ground level, all of you.
I'm sorry, James.
Don't ditch me.
How high?
There's nothing we can do about it.
Watch me.
Don't ditch
How high is
me.
it? How high is it?
It's still about like 50 feet, give or take. But
how
it
far
is
my dark vision?
it is
60
Alco's
or-
turn. Yeah, I believe it's 60 feet.
Oh,
It's my turn. Okay.
it's my turn.
Oh,
I never
is it?
had my turn.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's true.
Greknar
Yeah,
can have his turn.
Greknar can have his turn.
The thingy that was holding Nibelung, the vein, the tentacle. Can I run up and grab it?
No, at this point, as soon as it let go, it just retracted it back.
Okay, can I still see the creature?
You have dark vision, right? Up to 60 feet? Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see it on the ceiling about 60 feet up. Or, yeah.
Okay, I run basically straight under it,
Mhm.
throw the axe into the ground, throw some javelins, just reckless, just throw javelins into it.
All right. So I think that cancels out because the javelin's range is
Yeah.
only.
That's why I'm doing
Yep.
reckless.
Can you reckless on a ranged attack? I think it has
No,
to
it's
be,
on a melee.
Yeah, I
Strength
think it has
melee.
to be melee only. So I don't think you can recklessly throw a javelin.
Attack. Oh, I can't. How
Nope.
sad. Oh, okay. Normal attack rolls. No, disadvantage then. Javelin throw.
So how long?
I'm just gonna check if there's literally anything else I can do. I don't think so, no. Fuck it, I don't know.
At this point, I'm gonna give up on killing it, but
Oh.
I'm gonna try my hardest to
Sick.
break the tentacle holding her.
Yeah, hit the tentacle, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I also aim for the tentacle?
Yeah, you certainly can. You can try.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check one thing in Book of Many Things here. Okay, fuck. Okay, I'll just throw javelins at the tentacle then.
Ooh.
All right, that
Good roll.
hits. Unfortunately, it's not enough damage to fully break the tendril, but you do
I
damage
can
it.
throw it twice.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Wait, that's the
What
wrong
would you
attack.
roll?
That's the wrong
Why
one.
you hit that one?
It's the wrong one. It's a great
I
attack.
threw a great axe at
I
it.
threw a great axe at it.
Uh,
Oh, that misses.
I was about to say that's a really good fucking javelin damage.
Then it's my turn.
Oh yeah, no, it's alcohol. Yeah, sorry.
Yes. So
can I use my movement to stand under Alexei?
how tall would a huge creature be?
How tall would a huge creature be?
Yes.
I mean, it varies, right? So depending on like the creature, somewhere between like 15 to 20 feet tall, you probably.
Okay. 30.
Save me.
Why are you at HP now?
I don't know. My health box hasn't changed. Someone give me a healing word.
Yeah, because Briar moved under you. Kraknar, I mean. Not Briar.
Yeah.
Kraknar moved under you. Oh, fuck.
That's weird. What the hell did it do?
Okay, that's not gonna work. It's not 2 sizes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, it's my turn, or?
No, not yet.
No, it's
Okay,
not down.
so,
It's just that initiative is upward. Fine, I'll just get out the short bow and I'll do my best.
Save me!
Fire! Fire! Nope.
nope. All right, now it's Nibby's turn.
So is the creature or Alexei 60 feet away?
They're both because the creature, Alexei's like right near, but it's climbing up into the chasm now, so Alexei's actually a little bit closer. So we'll say like Alexei's 55 and the creature is 60.
All right, I'm gonna walk right underneath it, and can I see it or her rather?
No.
Okay, never mind. I can't heal you. Okay, you're dead. Bye.
No!
How did Alquil shoot it then?
He was firing blindly into the darkness. I would say he missed anyways, but yeah, he would have had disadvantage.
Okay, I'll heal blindly into the darkness here.
No,
I
because
mean,
you
I
have to see
had
your
the
target.
light spell on me.
You don't have to.
That
You don't have
probably
to.
went off the
Yeah,
moment you went down.
Alexei did have the light spell on her.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not concentration.
It's not. No, it's just it lasts 1 hour.
Okay.
Once it's dismissed.
Yeah.
What was it on?
What was it on?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me look at my character picture. Probably on like her glove.
Okay.
Just hold it out.
Okay. In that case,
Sparkling hand
you're
over
fine. If it was on something you were holding, you might have dropped it when you fell unconscious, but because it's something you're wearing, yeah, it's fine. So
I
yeah,
have it on
you
my
can...
teeth like that character that you had, Brad. Remember?
Ah,
shit.
Wildebrand.
Good shit. Yeah, so yeah, you can see her. I forgot about the light spell.
I'll heal her for. I don't know why I did it disadvantage, but
6.
Disadvantage.
does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. It just roll a
no.
rolls a d4, add 5, so it's 6.
Yep, you heal her for 6. Cool. That's a bonus action.
Use some fucking spells and get yourself out of there. And you're like, no, I gotta save my spell slots.
Well, it's do or die now.
And I hope it's die.
All right. Is there any action you would like to take?
I'll throw a produce flame halfway up, and then it falls down and kills me.
All right. Lucas.
You know what? I'm still gonna try to break that tendril.
All right.
Yes.
Not at disadvantage anymore. Thank
Nope.
fucking God. 27 for 9 plus 6. Because I'm assuming the tentacle also gets the extra necrotic damage from that.
I'll say yeah,
it's-
because it's technically like part of the same creature. Yeah, so that will break the tendril.
Did I just roll D6? D6?
Yep.
Or did I just... Okay.
So Alexei falls straight down on top of
And then-
Greknar.
The next one.
What's
And then I
happening?
hit it for 9 damage.
So yeah, Alexei, you wake up and then you're just falling.
But you still have 2 health.
Greknar, because you're standing underneath Alexei,
Yeah.
could you make a dex save?
That was the plan.
Was it? Because you were throwing spears.
Yeah, and I was going under to try to catch
Okay.
her.
Unfortunately, you are unable to catch her and unable to get out of the way, so you will also be taking the damage from this.
Does it reduce it a little bit at least?
No, because you
rolled a
failed.
4,
So Alexei and Greknar both take 19 points of
This
damage
is
from the fall.
bludgeoning.
No, it's fall damage.
Wait, he's not falling. I'm falling on him.
So, is this also true damage?
Yes, because it's funny.
Okay, if we ever encounter a werewolf, you just need to drop onto it. Apparently, and that's like
Yeah,
the best way to
totally.
kill
Just
it.
gonna cannonball it.
That's why werewolves don't live anywhere near cliffs. Duh.
Oh Christ! I'm just gonna take this flying icon off me as well.
And then the roper reaches down and grabs the unconscious body of Alexei.
No!
They're mine.
All right, so your death saves have reset, but you still have to roll them. All right. And then I think at this point in time,
Are we worth it?
the roper decides maybe it's not worth it, and is going to spend its turn just fucking off into the ravine up above.
Why is it always me? Oh.
Not even that we're a threat. It's just like we're just not worth the effort.
It would be too much effort to get us, yeah. I feel humiliated, guys. I don't know about you.
Do you want to get me up,
summon my-
please?
The sword dissipates from your hands, like melts
4 plus 4.
out of your hand, Alquill, and it summons back into my hand as a logmo.
I imagine it like just melts into like a pile of coins that like dissipates.
Yeah.
All right. So we're still somebody's dying. We're still sort of in initiative here.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen quite yet then.
Yeah,
Alquill.
correct. Our what do you
I
do?
drank a potion.
You drink a potion. All right.
Yep.
Alquill.
All right, I run over to Alexei. I reach down. I put my hand on her head, and hey, you know that taste of fire brandy, Alexei?
Gross.
Yeah. So
What happened, guys?
Alexei wakes up, definitely not having sustained brain damage from being forcibly knocked unconscious twice. One of which included falling 50 feet straight onto her back. She's fine. It's fine.
We're adventurers for a reason.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
so
Graknar broke my fall.
at this point, Briork, you can see is like ripping the loose like tendrils off of him that were like let go, and he's just like, I hate goddamn ropers.
Alexia will like get up, still wobbling. What happened?
Guys, no, in hindsight, it might not have been wise to walk into the room full of, skeleton corpses.
Yeah.
Says yeah, but
I walk over and find my shield and my sword.
all right. So yeah, you find your shield. Your sword has been a little bit banged up. Some of the edge has like been nicked and broken. It needs some repairs, but it's still functional for now.
Does
mending.
anyone have the mending cantrip?
We'll say for the time being, it has basically like a -1 penalty on it until you can get it like fixed.
All right, to damage and to hit.
To everything, yeah, because it falling kind of disrupted the balance of it, and also.
Hey.
Then we're gonna tell Alexia what happened.
Oh, you got.
You had a very bad dream.
I mean,
Sorry, you just got roped.
I mean, you were awake and screaming for most of it.
I remember falling, and now I'm here. How did I not die?
It's just healing.
Okay. Wait, but it grabbed me. How was I falling? What?
I destroyed the tentacle.
Oh, Lucas, you saved me! And she'll come up and hug you.
So, Brad, as she's hugging me, I look around the room. Are any of these corpses have like bags or anything on them? Like, or are they just skeletons that have been stripped of everything?
Looking around, it seems like these corpses are mostly just skeletons. They don't really seem to have anything of interest on them.
All right, nothing to loot.
Let's get out of here and find a place to rest. A safe place.
I don't know. Nibby's looking fine. Brad, why does this cavern look like it doesn't have an exit other than the one? Never mind, I found it.
It's over
Yeah,
there.
there's one there. So it's just like, all right, let's go.
Assuming that's not the one we just came out of.
No, you came from the other way.
You came from left.
Came from that way.
We're
Let's go,
going-
guys.
All right, so you guys quickly make your exit from this horrible death cavern.
Yes.
And
And we survived. XP, please, Brad.
for what?
Bro. Bro.
Pity
I
XP
feel
for
so
surviving?
We overcame a challenge.
I don't know if you overcame the challenge though.
We were so annoying that we made the monster fuck off.
We survived. I suppose.
Oh, the confidence in which you said that, Zach, was amazing.
All right, so you guys head off, leaving this cavern behind, and very quickly sort of trying to find a place to rest, even if it's in the middle of like a cramped corridor.
Yeah.
Just anything to like get out. Yeah, and Brewrock's just there. It's like, well, you know, on the one side that sucked. On the other side, I mean, not really much you can do. Those things aren't really. You can't tell them apart from regular cave formations.
Also,
How many
we're not
more
dead.
cave Yeah. And like Alexius, it's like, how many cave formations will try and eat us?
He says, well, a lot of them.
What?
How do you
What
live
even
down
is-
here?
What even is this fucking place? What like? This I feel like look around us. It's like, is this hell? Is this the afterlife? Did we all
No.
just die?
We're just very deep underground. And that's
No,
where a
if it
whole
were-
bunch of like
it-
weird evil stuff lives.
If it were hell, there'd be a lot more rusted metal and heavy metal music.
Heavy what now?
It's a
It's
dwarven
make-
thing.
it's a new
a
thing.
dwarven thing.
It's getting quite popular in Waterdeep.
Oh. And
All right, so you guys settle down for a short rest. You can go ahead and take it. The roper is not going to come crawling up and try to get revenge on you. It's just gonna
Yeah, you don't notice any different.
just gonna wait for easier prey.
Everyone else can clearly tell that I'm not as angsty and on edge and as like furious as I was with not having that bag. Now that I have a
That
bag,
was some
everything is all better.
That was some
No,
shit
but,
hit
but,
dice.
but it's not really sure if it's because of the bag or just because of the fact that we're, no longer in threat. So it's kind of hard to tell.
I don't know. Even when y'all like usually see me in like fights, I don't think I was ever that like kind of like angry and cold about what was going on in it.
Yeah, but like if it's like okay, you got a thing stolen from you, but now we're at least
Hey, I've
Sure.
got my transmuter stone. Excellent. Let's see.
What am I rolling? I'm on D8. Let's roll the 2 just to be safe for now.
I'm out of hit dice again. I hope we get long rests during this kind of travel and not like we have to be in the city type of long rest.
All right, so
Because,
after that brief encounter, you guys rest up, and while you guys are spending hit dice and whatnot, yeah, eventually the hour passes. Brework says, "All right, time to get going." And he is going to continue to lead through this cavern, which basically only goes in one direction. And eventually you get to a point where it seems as though the cavern is kind of like helixing downward, like it's just looping back around itself and going down and down and down and down for quite a time. You're descending down for maybe like 5-10 minutes. I will say at this point, Alquil, another torch has to be marked off if you want to keep that burning.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
How can we descend so deep and not encounter any lava chambers?
Why do you want to see a lava chamber, Alexa?
What is a lava chamber?
It's a chamber under the earth with molten rock. I mean, if you're going very deep.
It's just like
How do you know how deep we are? For all of you.
And,
All you know we might
Brewer-
be inside
Breaker says,
a mountain.
well,
Oh, yeah.
by my estimates, I don't think we're actually that deep. We keep going up and down and up and down.
This place is so disorientating.
And he says, you're damn right it is. He says, that's why we got to get out of here as quick as possible. He says, right.
do you have any idea how much time has passed since we started?
He says, since we left,
Yeah, since we left the beach.
about 2.5, 3 hours, maybe.
What? It feels like we've been here for days.
Calm down, Alexei.
I look at Alexa like
Look at this.
look back at Briork is like wouldn't say that, but I thought it had been a lot more. So stop panicking.
He says, right, the last thing you need to do in this situation is go crazy and start killing each other, all right? Just keep your minds
Wait.
about you.
That happens?
He says, more than you'd like to know.
I slap
It says-
Alexei across the back of the
It
head.
says, tight, dark corridors with no seeming hope of escape. People start doing some crazy things.
I didn't think about that bit.
Oh, great! That
I
was
slap Alexei. I slap Alexei.
Yeah, so he just kind of just shakes his head and continues onwards. And eventually you get to the point where you all begin to hear, even those of you who are less perceptive, begin to hear the sound of something like rushing by. And you very quickly realize it's like the sound of rushing water coming from like somewhere up ahead. And the cave continues on for a little bit, kind of goes upwards a bit, and then opens up into what appears to be like this large kind of cavern, most of which appears to have just been completely and totally like flooded with water. And you could see it's kind of moved. There's like a slight current to it, like moving. And you could see basically there's like an opening to one end and like an opening to the other where this like water is slowly kind of like rushing through this cavern. And it, as far as you can tell at first glance, there doesn't seem to be like a way across it that you can just like walk across. There's stalactites hanging from the ceiling, but other than that, you get to this point and Briar's just like, well, shit.
Well, sucks that we don't have that crates and stuff to build our raft now.
And he just starts kind of like scratching his beard and it's like, how the hell are
How
we
wide
gonna...
is this?
I said, how? So you, with your dark vision, you can't see the other side.
Oh, fuck. It's exactly 61.
Yeah.
Wait, so
No.
what?
It's more than 60.
Was this water, or was this like a?
Yeah, so it's like a flooded cavern. Like you seem to have like opened up into an area where there's like an underground river or something flowing,
Oh,
and
I'll
like
check.
you've got to like there's basically like you don't see the other side, but it's like a flooded cavern basically.
I want to check if the water is like drinkable, fresh.
Yeah, I was about to say, water is it drinkable?
Make I guess yeah, looking at it, make a nature check.
Does some better person want to do it? Oh.
Yeah, so looking at the water, I mean, it's kind of like murky, just having flown through like these kind of caves and stuff like that. However, you would know, being kind of like a flowing source of water, it's probably fresh water. You would just have to like purify it some way, like by like boiling it or whatever, like, you know, something
Yeah.
like that, just in case
I'll-
there's any like creatures living in it.
Yeah, I'll guess I'll fill the like 2 empty bottles I have.
Yeah, you do that, and Bjork's just like, good idea. We're probably running low on drinkable water at this point too.
How fast is this like water moving?
So it's not moving fast enough that it would like pull
Drag
you
me
away, but it's moving fast enough that it would kind of be difficult to swim across. It's not just like swimming through a pool, right?
I'm gonna summon like my packed halberd. It's the longest weapon I think I have, and I just want to start kind of like judging. Like, I step out in the water a little bit, downstream from where they're filling it up, so they don't get my nasty feet water. But,
Yeah.
I
So
just
you
wanna
go to
see,
you go
how
to like
deep it is.
you go to step down into the water, and as you do, your foot like you lower your foot a bit, and it's still not like coming into contact with anything. It seems like the surface that you're up against is basically like a sheer cliff into the
Oh,
cavern.
shit. I put my halberd down. Like, can my halberd touch the bottom?
It's what, like 15 feet long, basically.
Yeah, roughly.
15 foot. I'll say yeah. It eventually like hits like rock or something. Probably about like 10 to 15 feet down below.
Can I tell if it's sloping farther down as it goes? If I try to like push it out a little bit, can I tell if it's like the bottom of it gets deeper?
Not super well, but it does seem to be like getting deeper as you go further in.
All right, pulled out some of my longbow.
And
again,
if you kind of like knock around, you can tell like there are there's like evidence of like other formations, like stalagmites or something, like sticking up around.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Alexei, I'll say,
Yes.
can you cast that light spell on one of Lucas's arrows?
Yes, I can.
I magically summon an arrow, and then I'm assuming he wants me to shoot it across the thing, and I do.
Yeah.
Do your summon arrows count as an object, though?
I mean, Brad,
I mean, yeah, they're arrows. I mean,
they have a natural glow to them as is, but not right.
Technically, you're supposed to have your own arrows, but yeah, you can. We're just hand waving that and saying he summons them. So yeah, so you light up the arrow. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Let's just see.
As long as I don't fail horribly,
Yeah,
or just see how far and straight it can go.
yeah, we'll see. Just like it's more of like how lucky you get,
Oh, fair enough.
because there are like ceiling formations here. So
13.
13. So yeah, the arrow, you fire it off. It goes flying maybe about 70, 80 feet before it like hits a stalactite in the ceiling. It doesn't make it all the way across. But you could tell that the cave's basically about somewhere in the range of like 100 feet across, maybe, because the light extends a little bit further. And you think you maybe see the other side as it like plops into the water and gets carried away.
I see.
So, how are you going to overcome this challenge, Crusaders? What sorts of skills will you use to do so?
How long of a rope do we have? I asked everybody.
I have a 50 feet.
I'm assuming like I also have a 50 feet of a dungeoneering pack.
Yeah, I got 52.
Let's see what's this. Oh yeah, I have. No, those. I think I gave away the ropes in those.
We could tie a rope together long enough, and I could fly across, anchor it down over there, have it anchored down over here, and then we can use that as an anchor to swim across.
Yeah, that is not the worst idea.
Unless anyone else has another idea. Anyone have a raft they can pull out?
Unfortunately, I don't have any magical expanding boats.
I mean,
The best I can do is make one of you fly over.
I can make myself into an animal that can carry.
What if we tie a rope to one end over here, and I will let one of you fly across, and you tie a rope over there, and then we climb over?
I just look at her. Didn't the face.
That's literally what Lucas just suggested.
Great idea, Alexei.
There you go.
Who'd you cast it on? Did you immediately just cast it?
Yep, on you.
Damn it. Alright, everyone, get a rope ready, I guess.
Yep.
All right, so you gather up as much rope as possible, tying it all together, and give it to Lucas, who flies across to the other side. And
wait, hold on. Al Quill, are you good with a longbow?
No.
Would my magical longbow summon magical arrows for everyone else, or would it only be me?
I think it's
Probably
only
only
you.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could at least summon one. But alright, no, I was gonna give you my longbow if you could, but
I mean, he
I'm not very
technically
good- I'm not very
can,
good
but
with
his
longbows.
dexterity sucks. So.
alright. I'll fly. I'm trying to see because like I'm a little hesitant to fly over there on my own.
What's the worst
Just in
that could
case, you know,
happen?
ropers are in the air, some
You could
tentacles
cast
grab me
flying
from the
with
water.
you.
No, it's true. Sure. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm just saying, like, before you go, like, maybe we should get this magic lady to throw light on something and put it on other side.
Yeah.
So you guys have visual over there, except just him.
I mean, yeah.
Just anything really, whatever you put in the ground with the rope. I think that's best, because then we have a light centered where we're going.
What should I cast it on?
I'm giving him a javelin. It's like pierce the, take the rope on this and pierce this to the ground. I'll give him a javelin.
You want to pierce your javelin through the stone ground?
Jab it into something.
Fair enough.
Oh.
All right. So
Just transform into a giant snake and everyone can get on me.
So yeah, so somebody flies across with the rope,
Okay.
etc., etc. I mean, she's already cast a spell, right?
She's already
Yeah,
cast.
no, I said it
Next
before, but
just jumped the
everybody.
gun and just
No,
like
but
went.
that's spells instead.
Yeah, I know.
So
Sorry, I also casted it on Alquil so he could fly over with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
all
I
right,
just never
so
hit the button.
you guys cast the spells, go flying across with the rope, tie it down to the other side, and we'll just say basically you succeed on this skill challenge for expending leveled spell slots, and everybody is able to make it safely across.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so you make it across to the other side, and then yeah, you begin heading down more twisting, winding caverns. Another,
Stop saying the word down.
well, I mean, you know,
Say-
down, up, down, left, right. You don't know. It's all the same.
For all we know, we have like gravity has shifted and we're walking upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Um. So you guys are walking through the we'll say another like 30 minutes passes as you're walking through these twisting corridors, and eventually you get to a point where there's another you can see up ahead there's another like fork in the road, but instead of like two forks, it seems like a large like crossroads of some sort. Like there's a cave that seems to come from above and like descend down through. There's another one that goes off at an angle. There's yet another one that's kind of like in the middle of this big wide opening. It descends downward. You basically like hit this massive like crossroad of like natural caverns that seem to come through. But something sticks out to you that's in sort of the center of this like cavern area. Some of it almost looks like it's like worked stone, and there is what looks like the crumbling remains of some sort of structure in the center of the cavern. And as you get closer, you can see that there appears to be pictographic runes of some sort on it. And Brewer kind of like stops everyone. And he's like, "Hold up! There's some sort of structure up ahead. A lot of caverns to choose from. This one's gonna be tough."
So there's a bunch of caverns and a structure, he said?
Yeah, so there's basically like a bunch of intersecting caverns that seem to go off in all sorts of different directions, but in the center of this like open network, there is kind of what looks like the crumbled remains of like a carved structure or some sort. Basically, it kind of just looks like a big like wall that at one point that is now like crumbled down, and there's like pictographic runes on it that seem to depict like figures like walking or something. And there's like some what looks like stylized like arrows almost. And yeah, he sort of like stops to like look it over, and he says, "Construction looks familiar, but these ruins, they aren't a language."
Oh, I was just about to.
Can any of us understand the moon runes on the wall?
I was just about to use this.
Never mind.
No, he sort of seems like no, to me at least, this just looks like symbolical almost. It's old, whatever it is. I could tell just by looking at the stones, but I don't have much of a mind for these sorts of things. I can't. I don't know what it says.
Can I see if I understand what it means, or is it no?
No, like you don't like just looking at it. You're just like, oh, it's pictures.
Woohoo! Doodles.
Intelligence check from someone might be able to figure some sort of check probably would be able to figure it out. Maybe.
Arcana, or would a history be better?
I don't know.
Can do either.
Perhaps the resident smart person.
Can I do both?
No, you can pick one or the other. I will say probably looking at this seems more of like a historical thing than an arcana thing. Doesn't seem to be anything
Can I
magic
give
about
assist? Never mind.
All right, so Alexei, you kind of like push everybody aside to like study these runes. And after a while, she's like sitting there kind of like looking at them. Maybe she like pulls out a book or two and starts like cross-referencing things. She's maybe there looking over these runes for like 5-10 minutes before Alexei, you finally kind of begin to narrow it down and crack the code, as it were. And you recognize what these are. They're old. They're very, very old. They appear to date back to the kingdom of dwarves that existed like a long time ago, known as like the Delzoon dwarves. And you've seen similar things like this in some books about the Underdark. Occasionally, travelers will come across them. They are waymarkers. You can tell that basically like the pictures that are on them give a vague idea of what to expect in each direction. And judging by what you can see here, you can guess based on just like the number of these like dwarven figures that appear to be like walking in one direction. One of these caves leads to civilization somehow, or at least it did way back in the day.
Lead to what civilization, did you say?
Yeah, like some sort of settlement or something. Of course, that settlement's probably like long gone, but
So it's basically just a road sign.
yeah, it's basically just like a road sign,
So-
but it wasn't like written in case like travelers weren't
No.
like literate or anything like that. It was like pictographic road sign.
Yeah.
So Alexei will relay that information and say, so if there's a settlement in that direction, it could possibly have an entrance to the surface.
Yeah, so even if it's long abandoned, it's probably, hopefully, will have a way up.
You also notice that one of the caverns, one of the pictures that like remains, it's the cavern that kind of like slopes downward. There's like a pictograph of what looks like a man with like a squid head, and like a big like X.
What does that mean?
So I think that's those mind flayers that Reorg was talking about.
Well, never described how they look, so I have no idea what.
Yeah. In character, I know what. Out of character, I know what. In character, no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Worst problem ever.
It's just like, what does this one mean? I gesture towards like a squid head one.
I mean, yeah, and Alexei would say it's like, yes, I think that's one of those mind flayers.
It's just like,
So let's
not
not
that-
go that way.
it's a silly place.
Oh yes. So, with Alexei's history roll, you have succeeded in identifying a correct "quote unquote" direction to head at this pass, and
Let's go.
thus succeeded in this portion of the check.
I was
And-
got this image that if I fail, it's like, yeah, it looks like a squid-headed man, and that one you don't understand. I'm like, it's obviously the squid-headed man
Obviously,
way.
the squid-headed man way.
Yeah, go to the bike there, Colin.
So you guys begin following after this passageway. We'll say another 20 minutes goes by. Alquil, your torch burns out after an hour
I
has passed.
will strike another.
How many torches you got left, buddy?
I had 5, now I have 4.
All right. So you go ahead and proceed down through the cavern. Once more, sort of the twisting, winding passageways. and at this point in time, most of you have basically like you have no idea how long you've been traveling, just because there's no change in daylight, there's no like change in ambient light at all. You're just walking and walking and walking, and occasionally you come across something.
Man, we're gonna lose our day-night cycle. It's not gonna know when to sleep.
And yeah, so Briark just keeps leading you onwards, silently, kind of like every so often he'll stop to like look at some like moss on the wall or something like that, or like kneel down to like play with a couple of like rocks that seem to just be randomly strewn across the road before like nodding, and then just continues like walking on. And eventually, you all come across, you see like a glow up ahead in the distance. It's sort of like this bluish kind of like purple light that seems to be coming from up ahead.
Sun.
Yes, like the blue
Continue.
purple sun.
Fucking...
And yeah, so Briar kind of like sees this and like stops for a bit and says, looks like there's something up ahead. Strange light. Could just be one of those. Could just be a fungus or a moss giving it off, though.
Someone want to go up and have a look?
I mean,
He sort of like looks around. He says, "I'll take a look."
All right.
yes,
I've been
let's send the
walking for-
NPC off to die.
I've
I
been
was like, all right,
walking
I'll stealth,
for
but nope.
too much now.
Yeah, so he like walks forward a bit carefully, kind of like crouching down as he does so, sticking to the walls of the cavern, sliding up. It's maybe only about like 30 feet to where like this glow is coming from, but it's like enough of a glow that you can't like see into the room. And he just sort of like peeks out a bit, and he's staring for like a moment before he like slowly like puts up a hand and kind of just like gestures with a couple of fingers, like beckons you towards him.
All right, I start moving up as
Alright.
quietly as I can.
Yeah, so you carefully like move up.
Yep.
Yeah, so you approach upward towards him, and you can now see as well. You come across what appears to be a large chamber that is just filled to the brim with glowing mushrooms of all different sorts of shapes and sizes, and like moss, bright moss, like clinging to the walls of this cave. And there are what appear to be like sort of like almost mushrooms gathered as if they were like bunches of flowers like spread along the roots of these like larger like mushroom trees almost. And it's basically like this huge kind of like underground cavern that is just like, glowing in all these different colors, blues, purples, some like reds and pinks. It's actually like quite astounding almost coming across it.
What are these?
And he just sort of says, I don't know, fungus of some sort. I'm used to seeing glowing mushrooms, but so many different colors. Strange. Never seen anything like this back near Iron Master. He says, far as I can tell, it doesn't look like there's any danger in the room.
Can I roll a nature check?
I would say Alquil has no real way of like knowing what this kind of stuff is. It would be a stretch.
Yeah.
Could perhaps our druid roll a nature check?
No, nature is an intelligence-based thing for some reason.
Fair enough.
So I'm a druid, but I have +1 in nature.
I have +2. Could perhaps our resident smart person roll a nature check?
I
With
look
advantage if one of us is sister.
I will say basically, none of you come from the Underdark, and none of you really have any shot at succeeding on a check about like natural stuff down here.
Can I pick something up and eat it to see if it'll kill me?
Oh my god, this is like the fucking.
Not
plan
that I
all
do
over
that. I
again.
was asking if I could.
As you're all standing here like discussing about what to do, you hear a noise coming from like somewhere in the cavern. You just hear something going.
Arrow in.
You just hear something going.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God damn it.
What is that,
Arrow
guys?
out. I look. Where is it? Do I see anything?
No, you look around and you don't see anything.
Not even if I try to perceive?
Nope. And you just hear it again, like,
Guys, I don't like that.
Who's out there?
you just hear your voice like echo against the cave walls.
I try to use divine sense, celestial fiend or undead.
There are no celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet of you.
Okay, good to know.
I sense if there's bad things close.
Yeah, I want to do the bad thing sense as well as Brad.
Well, you don't have that, so.
Do I got the heebie-jeebies right now?
I mean, not really.
I don't have the heebie-jeebies from a creepy fucking laugh. How childlike was this laugh, Brad?
It was pretty like childlike.
I got the heebie-jeebies.
I will.
Wait, I
start
got this
walking-
guy.
Brooke just sort of like shrugs. It's like, are we just gonna stand here? Like, we gotta do something. And he starts.
I was
Like,
going to say, it's like I was just going to start walking into
he
the
starts
cave.
walking forward.
Wait,
Go out,
don't
walk
go out,
forward.
Quill. No, stop it.
I got Al Quill's back with the fucking bow and arrow ready to go.
Oh no.
All right, so you guys begin marching forward into the cave.
Yep.
Do the others follow after?
I don't like this follows.
Okay.
I'm sticking with our druid.
And I'm staying.
I like repeat my like is anyone's there thing in all my languages, Elven, Draconic, and Common.
All right. So yeah, you begin to hear like as the group of you, the four of you, I guess, that are going along, are proceeding forward. You can see now that basically the light begins to kind of like dim almost from the mushrooms, and you notice like the space around you begins to almost be filled with fog or something of the likes, like a mist or fog, or maybe it's like a cloud of spores or something from the mushrooms, but like visibility starts to like drastically decrease, and Brewer's just like, what the hell is going on?
Do we see that too? Me and Mike?
Yeah, so you begin to like see that, and like you begin sort of like very quickly losing sight of your companions.
It's like, I look down at Nibble and like, we gotta move after.
Alright.
And I kind of like start not running, but like fast pace after.
All right, so yeah, you quickly like seeing that they're like disappearing into this like cloud, of course, start running after them. I assume Nibby at this point you do the same.
Yeah.
All right, so you all run forward. Yeah, and you're now like kind of like in the midst of this like deep fog almost. And you can't really, you can just see like colorful glow in the mist, but you can't actually see the like mushrooms or anything anymore. And just every so often you hear this like giggling, like almost sounds like as if it's like right next to your ears. And then eventually you hear a voice, and it sort of echoes out through the chamber. You can't exactly tell where it's coming from, but it says, "Oh, what interesting creatures stumble into our den this time."
Fucking leprechaun.
And you hear another voice like, "Oh, I don't think I've ever seen ones like this before. I think we should play with them for a bit." And then you just hear like a collection of like giggling all around you. And let me see here. Let me roll randomly. Alquil, you begin to feel something like tugging at the like sword on your belt, almost like trying to like pull it away. And he says, "Come play with us."
All right, I am going to use Channel Divinity. Turn the Fateless.
Okay. Holy symbol. Some saving throw. All right.
Oh wow.
I don't get to use this one often.
No.
Watch it not work. It's not a Fae.
Yeah, I'm just guessing.
All right, so you do that. Let me go ahead and look something up real quick here. What is the bonus? What is the bonus?
Become Spawn of Darkness.
Okay, so they do have advantage. And they have a 2. And the DC is 15?
15, yes.
All right, so you kind of like say this, you radiate out this kind of like ancient basically like curse almost towards like fae and fiends. And there's like this shrieking noise, and you hear like several figures going, "Oh, oh my, that's not very nice." He says, "So we just want to play."
It's just like, let us out.
And yeah, the you hear the voices again. It says like, "Oh, but we don't want to. Not yet, at any rate. We just want to have some fun, is all." He says, "Won't you stay and play with us a while?"
I'm afraid we do not have the time. Let us pass.
Yeah, so you hear like voices that are another voice is like, "These mortals are awful boring." He says, "Indeed, look at them, so drab and disgusting." He says, "Maybe they'd be better off as something else." And let me see here. Alexei, you-
Why it's always me?
can you make a wisdom saving throw as you hear this voice like, "That one's pretty, but I think she'd be prettier as something else."
Why is it always?
you all watch as Alexei suddenly like lets out a gasp and then just like turns into what looks like this sort of like strange like bird like thing, like this like little like bird or whatever, like a canary or something.
I don't suppose she's within 10 feet of me, or...
No,
I
because
mean,
I always
I would-
imagine she's usually in the back.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
But wouldn't you stick pretty close to each other in a fog cloud?
I did go with them. I'm following him.
Either way, the bonus wouldn't have helped.
Oh my, yeah. Oh well.
Are these voices coming from like specific spots around us, or are they just kind of like this
No,
weird
so there's
echo
a
around
lot
us?
of voices, and they all seem to be kind of like echoing around the chamber, and you can't quite
So-
like there's something
pinpoint a
there's
single
something about
one.
this fog that's preventing you from like pinpointing where they're coming from, and you're just kind of like walking along, and you can't really like you can't tell like where you're going or anything.
What does Alexei bird do?
Yeah, you get turned into like a little like hummingbird or whatever.
Hummingbird caws awfully.
Yeah. Hockey is very confused right now.
Yeah, and you hear some like clapping and giggling, and says like, "Oh, look at how fun this is."
Mm.
Help me!
What are the odds they can see invisible or have true sight?
Wow, I'm just gonna BRB since I'm a bird now, I guess.
Well, we're around end time, normally.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna. Fuck, do I wanna do that? What are the anything else is said or happened?
No, like basically like.
Can I just like? Mm, please, just let us pass. We have important business to be about. Time is critical and of the essence for us. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to persuade them.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is a.
Or I mean, is time really of the essence, or would that be a deception? We kind of have all the time in the world right now, almost.
I'll let you decide, but I think like basically it's kind of a good path to like go around. Like you're trying to like convince whatever. You're trying to convince whatever's around you to leave you alone. And you say that, and Lucas comes up with some sort of like crazy convincing like argument or whatever, lie or whatever. Spin some like crazy lie
That I will come up with next time.
Yes, and basically, so we'll end off basically as suddenly you hear like a bunch of like disappointed like voices, and you watch as Alexei just suddenly like springs back into being like herself, although like sprawled out on the floor or whatever, and the fog begins to clear, and you all see these sort of like slightly glowing figures appearing amidst the mushrooms. These kind of like darker skinned, like almost like purplish blue skinned like fairies, essentially, like with little like kind of butterfly wings darting in between the mushrooms. And they kind of like seem like disappointed, and we will pick up next time with their response.
All right.
I will prepare to double down on my lie.
Yes, and next time, in fact, Zach will be in charge of the recap.
Okay.
Well, boy.
All right, so
Okay.
thank you all for playing, and that is today. That is it for today's episode.
All right.
Yes.